Hello gamers. Happy Sunday. Hi, hello, welcome in, welcome in. I'm gonna have to come out guns a-blazing today, gamers. Like, for realizes, we gotta lay down some groundwork before I start this stream for real, cause we got some stuff going on, and I want to make sure everybody's safe. But yes, welcome in. Welcome, guys. Wow, there's a lot of you already. So, first of all, I'm gonna get one thing, like, coming out of the gates, like, within the next couple minutes. I'm gonna, like, make sure everybody gets in here before I start spewing. But I think you guys know what I'm gonna talk about, and it's gonna be extremely brief and vague. And I'm gonna make sure that it's done and over with so that way people aren't asking the entire stream and triggering me the entire time. So we're gonna make sure that this is gonna be as safe as possible. And my mods are ready, so don't even try. Don't even try today, please. I'm pretty goddamn exhausted. But hi, welcome to the live stream. It usually is a lot more cheerful around here, but we got some stuff. So welcome in. Yeah, so first of all, obviously giant content warning. This is the only point in time in which I'm gonna be talking about this. I'm not gonna even show any part of the video. I'm gonna be talking about episode 56, Sunshine. And I'm gonna be very vague and quick about this because I don't really want to talk about it. All I'm gonna say is that comments are turned off for a reason. I don't want to, you know, have people saying things that could potentially upset other people. Because this is a very not fun topic. And I know that's like a huge ask. I know that's a big ask. I know it's a huge ask of the internet to respect me. But I've literally, for the past 3 days, have gotten nothing but mostly respect, and I appreciate that so much. But for the disrespect that I have gotten, it is very annoying. On top of everything I've had to go through. So this is what I will say. Oh, I guess I'll do the sad face. Sadness. Yes, that happened. That was terrible. I only found out recently that this happened to Wild Child. So the good news is, Wild Child had no idea this was happening. Bad news is, it happened. And I found out because I got a call from the FBI. And this is the scariest part about why I don't want to talk about this, is that this stuff was spread across the internet. So, being internet famous and then knowing that my child self is out there is really horrifying, and I don't get much sleep at night. So, I know this is like a horrible topic. Just giant content warning, if you go and watch that video, just please be careful. I had a giant fat panic attack after that. You'll see more about this and it'll go in more detail when we get to Haley's era. Several eras from now, because again, I had no idea that this happened until extremely recently. The person is unfortunately not in jail. Just like the murderer, just like everybody else, nobody ends up in jail. I'm sorry. This is a sad story where the villains don't get what they deserve and justice never happens, and I'm just sadly a victim. So, and this is sadly the reality of a lot of people. And I just want to make sure I get it out there that I see you, you're not alone. We're valid, we're real, we lived through it, we survived, we're okay, and, you know, yes, it happened, and it sucks, and there's nothing I can do to get that childhood innocence back. Except, you know, share the good that I had with you guys, and share the gingerbread man, and share the school olden days, and all the silly stuff of getting smelly erasers, and the things that Wild Child cherished. That is what we're gonna focus on. We're gonna focus on the good things that happen. Because so much out of my control happened in my life that was super bad. But the point of this project isn't to sit there and go, oh my god, what was me, wah wah wah. The point of the project is to exemplify that stuff was great. Stuff was good. For people asking genuinely what happened, content warning, content warning, content warning, content warning, content warning, content warning, 5 times over. I was exploited as a child. I had photos taken of me. Very not fun photos taken of me. Pretty much my entire life. Then they were posted on the internet for other people to enjoy. That's what happened to me. I didn't want to put explicit details in my work because young people watch my stuff, or people that don't want to see that stuff watch my stuff. So I made sure that it was very, very vague on purpose. I'm sorry if you don't get it. You can read the description. There's more information there if you really must know. But at the end of the day, this is my story to tell, and this is how I decided to tell it for the safety of everyone. So let's my cat is here. My emotional support animal is like, what is going on? Here, I'm gonna move his cat tower close to my chair because he wants to be next to me now. He's such a good animal. Yeah, I've given up on hope for justice. The very next episode of Persona Project is titled Justice. And it's not gonna have anything to do with this. It's just another instance of something that is just stupid that happened. Come on, kitty, come on. He's desperately climbing all over me, this poor animal. He's hugging me for you guys, okay, okay. But yes, we're gonna talk about the rest of year 5. Sunshine is done. We're not talking about it, it's over. I got it off my chest. I'm glad I was able to talk about it. So thank you guys for allowing me to do that. That's really, really awesome. Oh, I see a lot of stuff coming in, so I'm gonna get this this part of the stream rolling. Let me get the project saved. For some reason, wants to save. I updated. We have some cool new fan art. I'm very excited about it. You guys had some super chats. I'm gonna replay in the chat real quick, and thank you guys so much for that. Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. All right, let's replay some of those. Catch up on these.
Bald bluebird or a bald wild child? Who's better?
Bluebird? You mean blackbird? I know there's a lot of birds in that era, I'm sorry. Oh goodness. Bald wild child I feel is significantly better. Simply because then she kind of looks like Shrek, I don't know. That's just that's my opinion, that's my opinion. Yeah, if you guys super chat inappropriate things...
It isn't a proper wild child stream without some animal fries at these trying times. From the Potato Santa.
Aww! Potato Santa! Heck yeah! That's exactly what I need in my life right now. Thank you, Phallus Ultra. Oh my gosh. You've been so freaking awesome. I love reading all your comments all over my channel. Like, you're so active on my channel. It's so freaking cool. I love you. Oh. This is great. But yeah, if you guys, like... Thank you for the donation and everything, but if you share something, like, highly inappropriate like that, it will be removed and you will be blocked from the channel. And I don't mean, like, that to be super mean or anything, but I'm trying to keep everybody safe, alright? Like, I don't want anybody to get hurt by me just telling my story, okay? Thank you. Thank you for understanding. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so... Oh, we have a lot to talk about with year 5. Year 5 was such a freaking crazy one. I mean, ended with a giant bang, of course, but, like, I think this was, like, such a huge year for Wild Child because it was so much, like, griping with, like, life and society. It was just such a big intro to the world. And I'm very excited about how it turned out because I was kind of nervous about this year because I felt like it was a little like hazy in between everything else because I was like, nothing really happens when you're in kindergarten. But then I kind of realized, no, I think everything happened in kindergarten. Oh, I saw somebody ask if Wild Child is still going to be around after this era ends. Like, of course! No, the eras are just going to keep appearing. There's actually an episode in, I want to say year 7, where all the eras come to Wild Child, because Wild Child makes her first book. And all the eras are, like, popping up going, oh my gosh! I made this book! And they're all excited about it, so... They all will appear from time to time again, but for the most part, they're trying to be respectful of each other and letting each other tell their own stories. They'll intervene sometimes, but I feel like Wild Child will intervene a lot more in Blackbird's era because they're so close together. But for the most part, they're just gonna pop up here and there, and I'm gonna have really fun episodes of all of them interacting together. So after year 8 is done, I'm gonna do a couple of episodes that I have written out of all of the eras meeting, what that was like, and all the eras talking about their favorite memories, and all the eras, like, reflecting on stuff together. So it'll be really awesome. So don't worry, they're not gonna be gone forever or anything. Like, Wild Child's still here. Like, she's with me. She is me. Like, that's something that's never gonna go away. Like, my inner child is always here. Gosh. I didn't even get to do my stream stuff. Hold on, everybody. Okay, so, yes, if you want to donate to the stream, you totally can. You can super chat, or you could go to the link in the description, and you can get your message read out and throw some fruit at Peeves. Every bit really helps. I'm actually saving up for Wild Child's Christmas. I don't know if I announced this previously, but I did. Oh gosh, Captain.
Bald Wild Child is my sleep paralysis demon.
Mine too at this point. Mine too. Mine too. I every time I draw her, I hope you know, I have to imagine what it's like without her hair, and I'm like, man, thanks for that. But yeah, basically, I'm gonna be this year for Christmas, since holidays are so hard, I'm gonna be celebrating Christmas with my eras. I'm making them each a stocking, and getting different things from each era, and getting things for them, like toys we never got, or video games we missed out on, or like candy that I really liked from that time period, and stuff like that. And it's really awesome, so every bit's gonna help towards that right now. My brother broke my 3DS like 2 years ago because he dropped it off my loft bed, and so my 3DS has been broken for years now. So I'm saving up to get a new one for Wild Child because Wild Child's very upset about this, and I want to make sure she gets a new one for Christmas. So every bit helps, and that's really cool. And I'll be vlogging that little experience so I can share it with everybody. Oh goodness. Yes, Rocky eventually does go to the same school as me, but right now, Rocky is a little worm, a little child who doesn't go to school. Most people were asking that. They're like, where's Rocky in this year? I'm like, dude, Rocky's like a baby. Rocky's like just a little creature right now. Rocky doesn't have like, you know, any like consciousness yet. Like, can't go to school yet. Can't do much right now, unfortunately.
Here's some money for some comfort foods.
Oh!
Make sure to dink smile.
Yeah!
Lower you, Hawley.
Oh, thank you, Raven Nightshade. I love your username. That's so aesthetic. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Oh.
Hope you and the years have a fun Christmas.
Oh my god,
Greater
thank
than
you,
D.
Pippi. That's so sweet. I love the evil little face. That's so fun. Oh, Pippi, thank you. That's so sweet. I am dinking.
Anyone who harms a sweet little baby bean here on out will be introduced to my field hockey stick. I literally have it next to me right now. Keep on having fun and swimming, Wild Child.
Aww.
We got you. Wild Child Protection Squad, where are you at?
Right here! I'm a part of it! I'm the leader of the Wild Child Protection Squad. I am. I love that hockey stick thing. That is so funny. You said that in the Discord server, and I was like, I went to sleep thinking about that. Like, man, it's so nice knowing that all my fans are ready to just kill at a moment's notice for this kid. It's what she deserves. It's what she deserves. She's such a good kid, man. I love her. She never deserved anything that happened to her. I swear to God. Oh my God, guys!
Well, here's to hoping you can give your ears a good
Oh
Christmas.
my God, thank you, Crinkles. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Ah, my God. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Holy cow. That's gonna help so much. Freaking retro gaming systems are ridiculously expensive nowadays. I'm trying to find one that's not like crazy. My brother did say he was going to contribute to helping pay for it because he broke it, so I'm holding him accountable. I see Koi is having a fun time in the chat. Please guys, don't be terrible in the chat today, please. Like, I don't have the energy. I really don't, unfortunately. I've been crying a lot, I'm exhausted, you know, when you release a lot of trauma, you feel pretty bad, generally. So yeah, lots of rest on my part. But yes, I want to talk about, let's go into the episodes now, because I like breaking down each episode bit by bit, because they're works of art to me. Like, I spend a lot of time on these episodes. So, let's go into that. Let's talk about cloud racing. I see, like, 1,500 comments about how there's a Bluey episode about this, called Shadowlands, and, like, I don't know these things because I don't watch Bluey, and I'm sorry. But it's kind of awesome. I was, like, kind of happy. I kind of snuck a peek at the episode. Like, Bluey is kind of a hard show for me to watch because it, like, kind of torments my inner child, because it's like a great example of what my life should have been like, and it's really painful to watch sometimes. But I saw a clip of it because you guys got me curious, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so happy other people did this, and, like, enough that there's, like, several now pieces of media that talk about cloud racing, and, like, it makes me so happy. Like, I was like, oh my god, I feel so seen, like, and I'm sure you guys did too, and it was awesome. It was such a sweet thing, so, that was pretty awesome. And so, yeah, this is just something I used to do as a kid, was, like, kind of run under the clouds as they were moving on very windy days. And just try to race them. And, like, I loved how atmospheric this episode was with the wind and, like, the sky. Also, can we get appreciation for my background NPCs? That little corgi is so cute, even though she's, like, borderline evil. Like, I love my little background NPCs so much. Oh my goodness. But, there's, like, a little bit of symbolism here that I placed here. If you know anything about nature symbolism, the ladybug that was in this episode actually symbolizes friendship. Ladybug is, like, a big kind of friendship symbol, and when you have one land on you, it's actually supposed to be good luck as well in some regards. So it's really interesting that, like, I thought of Mother Nature more as my friend and my caregiver than actual, like, human beings. So yeah, I have, like, these little references here and there that it's like, no matter what, I've always got nature. And that's why Wild Child's playing with a ladybug. I actually animated this on a windy day, and I had the windows open, so it was like, I was feeling so freaking, like, nostalgic when I was making this. I think people can, like, agree that this one, like, oozed with nostalgia for some reason, and like, it just, every part of my animations was so, like, this episode just hit, man. This episode just was everything to me. She does get a little bit existential right here, so if you're not keen on that kind of thing, I'll put up a little content warning, for that. Also, why is it, like, in the middle of the screen? Get down there. Stop that. Okay, there we go. But yeah, basically, one big theme about Wild Child is that she goes from this, like, I think I'm invisible, like, invisible? What? Sorry. Invincible, you know, dyslexia. She thinks she's invincible, she thinks she's never gonna die, she thinks that she's unstoppable. And then at some point, she gets humbled, and now she has this kind of fear. And so, like, the whole, like, her whole arc is pretty much her, yeah, Jules, that's a great new rule, guys. Please stop asking me to do the voice. I have demand avoidance. The more you ask, the less I'm gonna do it. So, I'm sorry. I'm planning on opening up after a couple more episodes come out of year 6. I'm gonna try and open up a thing where you guys could do a, like, ask Wild Child to say things as Wild Child, and then you guys can get it all out there. So don't worry, I have a series planned where you guys can get it out of your system, but just not here right now. I'm very tired, and I can't do the voice very long. It's straining. And also I'm talking about something else entirely. But yes. Wild Child very much has this kind of... This playlist is so sad sounding. Let's go to like a more high energy. Yeah! Let's go! Okay, that's better. It was sad in the beginning, but now we're not sad. Yeah. Alright, so. She has this thing where like, I had this real conversation with my nanny, and I was like, hey nanny, what happens when we die? You know, my nanny's like the super religious one, and my nanny was like, oh, well we go into the sky and we go to heaven, and I was like, what's in heaven? You know, and she's like, oh, what heaven could be whatever you want it to be. It's where all your family goes. It's where like your cats and dogs go, and like that's where like it's always like warm and sunny, and like she basically painted this picture for me, and I was just kind of like, isn't that where we're at right now? Like me, the autistic child, was just like, that's just where we are right now. What are you talking about? So I was just like, okay, well then I guess we're already in heaven. So Wild Child went like a big portion of her childhood just believing she was already in heaven. And I think that's like the freaking sweetest, cutest thing ever. Like, this little girl really was like, you know what? Heaven is here. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to stay right here forever, because this is heaven. And I'm like, oh my god, how freaking cute. It's so good, man. I love my child self so much. My inner child is so good. She loves... What is up with these freaking music today? Just being so not good. Good lord. Anyways. I'm struggling, can you tell? But I love the idea that, like, this kid is convinced that this is heaven, and that she's gonna be a kid forever. And this is like just where she wants to stay forever. And when she looks back at me, who is obviously not a kid, and it doesn't last forever, she's still, like, she doesn't falter. And I thought that was like a really important little shot, because she's not like scared of like, oh no, like, wait, do I get old? Oh no. It's like a, no, I still see myself in you. Like, we're still just little kids. We're still in heaven, right? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we are. And it's just, it's such a deep understanding between the both of us, and it's just like a silent shot. And like, that was just a really, really important, just a really important scene for me to have animated. I am so concerned about what is going on with the pancake discourse in the chat, but we're just gonna move on to the next episode! Yay! The next episode you guys absolutely loved, and I thought it was really fun too. This is Garbage Man. We're gonna talk about Garbage Man. This is a very fun little episode about how I wanted to be a garbage man when I grew up, and I thought it was really funny because, like, I went through a lot of different phases. Oh, I forgot to turn off my content warning. Hold on. Bloop, 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 bloop. There you go. I thought it was just like a really interesting thing to want to be when you grow up, because I was like, most kids are like, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a vet, or I don't know, I want to be a firefighter, or some crap, or I want to be famous, you know? And I was like, you know what? I want to ride on the back of that truck. That seems freaking legit. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, like, looking back at her, I'm like, girl, that would have been such a good job. Because, like, they're so well paid, and they got so many good benefits, and, like, it would be fun. Like, she's absolutely right for this. Like, she was so right for this. I just thought it was really funny, because, like, literally a couple years later, she changes her mind entirely, and then she starts to go down the, I want to be a vet and take care of animals. Like, a lot of other AFAB kids could agree that we all went through. So it's just really funny that she kind of goes through this Garbage Man arc, and I loved making this video so much. I hid so much fun stuff in this episode. I love her little Garbage Man outfit. I hid like the little cereals. Oh, there's like, these are cereal boxes, because I used to wear cereal boxes on my arms and pretend that I was a transformer. This is actually extremely misleading. My favorite Transformer is Bumblebee, for the record. I don't know why I drew Optimus Prime. I think it's because Optimus Prime was, like, a little more recognizable than Bumblebee, I guess? Which is... I don't know. I made a poor decision as far as putting him up there, because that was my brother's favorite, and my brother was like, hey, what the heck? I thought Bumblebee was your favorite. I'm like, Bumblebee is my favorite. I am Bumblebee. I speak in code. I like Bumblebee a lot because, like, he's just nonverbal autism stimming, and I love that. So, anyways, the cereal boxes I would wear on my arms, I'd pretend to be a Transformer, and I put, like, the Trix cereal and the Cookie Crisp cereals, but, like, I was gonna come up with off-brand things, but for some reason I couldn't think of anything for Trix. I was gonna call them treats, but then it didn't even look right, because I was like, what if they don't get it? And, like, I couldn't come up with anything that wasn't already copyrighted, and I was like, well, fine, I'll just write cereal, whatever. Like, sometimes my brain is off, and that was a day where my brain was off. I hope you guys enjoyed the absolutely silly, goofy Thomas the Tank Engine. That thing is goofy AF, bro. That thing is silly. I could not remember for my life what that thing looked like. I drew up most of these things from memory because I think it's really funny when it's, like, super off. Like, I don't know, I just think it's really goofy looking and silly, and he's just so silly, and I love it. Also, I think you guys noticed that this is, I have a couple characters on my Instagram that these two dinosaurs reference, because I have action figures of them. The dinosaurs are actually Spoticus and Ducky, some of my prized dinosaurs, from my Hawley era. But I had Watchon pick up a thing of Apple Jacks, because in one of the episodes, Picky, we talked about Fruit Loops, and everybody in the chat was like, oh my god, just get, like, I don't know what you would call it, just get, like, just get Apple Jacks, everybody said. There's only 2 colors in Apple Jacks. Well, here's the issue with that. I only ate the green ones still. So, it's just a box full of orange, like the cinnamon flavored Apple Jacks. I only eat the apple ones. So, like, my parents eventually did catch on. They did get Apple Jacks instead of Fruit Loops, because there's more colors I could eat in that. However, it didn't solve the problem. Oh, Maddie, I want to give the dinosaurs more attention. I totally want to. I'm going through a weird thing about Hawley's era, right now, so it's a whole thing. I'll get into it when the time comes. Give me the dinosaur. Technically, there's a lot of dinosaurs that are still alive, or at least have evolved, and are still closely related to the same prehistoric creatures that we had on Earth bajillions of years ago, so technically you could still find living, breathing fossils to this day, which is so beautiful. Apples, your jacks. Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, these are my little silly parts of the episode. My teacher, my kindergarten teacher was like this, like, just very average kindergarten teacher. She was a little bit more strict on me than the other kids because I was just, like, autistic and running around in her classroom making a mess of things. So I think I stressed her out a lot. But she was still really good, and she still was a good teacher to me, so I was, like, thinking about what she used to look like, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make her into, like, a little raccoon, you know? Because I'm doing woodland creatures for Wild Child's era, so I was like, a raccoon would be so cute, and, like, I think that would be perfect. I saw one comment where they were like, oh my god, why does the teacher look like you? And to that I just have to say, there are a lot of people in this world who have brown curly hair. I'm not the only one. So, Yeah, that's why she can look like me, because sometimes people just look like other people, because we have common traits sometimes. I don't know, maybe we're all similar and different at the same time? Like, god, I'm losing brain cells. I'm gonna move on from this topic. I love this little shot of me telling Wild Child to never change, and she never does, and I'm so happy about that, because she is so true to herself. Oh, the next episode, here we go. It's Game Boy. The next episode is Game Boy, and I love this one so much. I don't know why, but it was just so much freaking fun to animate this one, dude. It was so fun putting my birther through so much torment in this episode, and it made me so giddy. But this is like, I don't know why, but it makes me so happy that I got to draw my USA puzzle. Cause like, I was obsessed with that thing, dude. I was obsessed with that thing. I had like such a weird fixation on like some of my toys, and this was one of them. I love that stupid puzzle more than anything. But I love this like episode because it's like my mother being like, we're going on a road trip, it's gonna be so fun, we have a family road trip, and I'm just like, how are we gonna do that? We don't have the puzzle piece for that one. And she's just so disappointed. I think it's so funny. And this is true. This is a true fact. My mother is a twin. Twins run in my family, actually. Top 10 reasons why I'll never have kids. Number 1, I might have twins legit. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I'm sorry. Everybody who has twins or is a twin, I salute to you. That is a difficult thing. That is such a difficult thing. I've taken too many psychology courses to know the damage of being a twin and or having twins. Raising one child is one thing, raising two at the same time and they look identical, you're asking for so much. It freaks me out. It freaks me out. Also, welcome to the new people who are joining in on the stream. Welcome in. We're talking about Persona episodes. We're going through year 5. No, this is Hawley's stream. I know, ridiculous, right? I can't believe PetPyves is like a real person. I post like every day, but like that's just magic. That just happens like magically. There's like not a real person behind that or anything. Oh god. Oh my gosh, there's so many new people. Hi guys, well, welcome. But yeah, that was just a kind of a little side fact. This side of the family doesn't come up very often, you'll find out. Unfortunately, like, most of my family's pretty distant with us because of the whole family murder thing that happened when I was born. Creates a little bit of a rift in your family, so people kept their distance. So yes, this is the only time I think you're actually gonna see this person, unfortunately. Like, there's not much I have done with this side of the family. I also love this song, guys. It's freaking such a banger. I loved this shot, but it got covered up by the text. I'm honestly thinking, how would you guys enjoy a, like, textless version of Persona Project when it's, like, done? Because I'm thinking, I'm gonna make a giant compilation video of, like, the entirety of Wild Child's era. It'll be like a movie. And I'm thinking that in the description, I'll include a version that doesn't have any of the text, so if you just want to see all of the art without any of the subtitles, then it could be there. And I thought that'd be really cool and fun to, like, do. So I'm thinking of releasing a version that is just for the art, on the very last video, if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, because I totally am, and the text totally covers up some of the stuff I do sometimes. And this one, the window was moving in the background with the mountains and stuff, and I was like, wow, I covered it up. I'm such a fool. Also, Wild Child has a Capri Sun, and this is like the best thing ever. This is the best thing ever. Another thing to note about this shot is that, my brother did eventually get a different kind of stuffed animal, like a puppy. And it actually was, he just called it his puppy. And it was like this little brown dog with like big eyes with a little orange bandana. And this time, my parents were smart and they bought 2. The funny thing about puppy that you'll notice in the background is that Evan's puppy, my brother's puppy, ended up losing one eye. So then he would carry around the other one that he got, like the backup puppy. And then that puppy lost the other eye. So they lost different eyes, but they each are missing one. So they ended up becoming like these little twin puppies that replaced the golden puppy that was lost in year 4. So that's like a fun little thing you'll notice in the background. You'll see, if you see Puppy again in a couple of years, the eye will be missing. And if a different eye is missing, then that means that Evan has the other one. So it's kind of cool. I try to put little details like that in here because it is my life and it's continuous. Also, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Is I remember being in the car with this like family road trip thing. And my father was purposefully driving like a maniac just to scare the crap out of my mother. Because she's like so dramatic and she's so annoying. Like I would piss her off too. I'd be like, you're so annoying. Oh.
Brief moment of appreciation for Rocky's new puppy plushies.
Oh, they're so cool. I'll have to find a picture of them sometime and try to share them. Wow, this username went all the way into the fruit bowl. That is impressive. Wow. But yeah, I loved that my father was kind of like cheeky and kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna be a jerk and I'm gonna mess with you because you're annoying. And I just think it's so funny. I just thought it was like kind of one of the only moments in my life that I can recall where my family was just kind of acting like a normal family. Like, you have, like, the overly paranoid mother who's excited to go on this road trip to go see her brother, and then, like, the dad who's, like, driving the whole time, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna be annoying and mess with you, and then the 2 kids in the back playing with our little toys and having Capri Suns, and I'm like, man, we were just normal for a little bit. Like, we were just a family, like just a normal family, and this is a very rare moment. This might actually be the only time I've animated this, and might be the only time you ever see this. So, it's just, I adored this moment. It makes me bittersweet to look at this nowadays. But I think, like, people were getting, like, kind of confused about this part. This was a playground that was, like, at a park next to my uncle's house. So we had to walk a couple blocks to get to this park. People were under the assumption that my uncle left it for me, or that it was my cousin's DS, or not DS, Game Boy. It was just a complete stranger. No, like, this was just a park that was a couple blocks away. Like, there was no way this was staged. Another detail about this episode I didn't put in is that it was raining when this event occurred. It was raining. It was like a very light, mild, like drippy kind of drizzle, overcast, cruddy kind of day. And I found the Game Boy up there, and I ran up to my dad, and I was like, Dad, I found a Game Boy! Do you think somebody lost it? And he was like, oh yeah, like, that definitely, no, there was nobody around, because it was a rainy, crappy day. Nobody was there. So he was like, okay, I'll hold on to it. You guys go play. If they don't come back for it, we'll see what we're gonna do. So we went and played for a little while. It started to get all rainy and kind of got worse. So then my dad was like, okay, we gotta go back. And then I was like, Dad, what about the Game Boy? And then he was like, well, it's yours now. Nobody came back for it, and if we leave it out in the rain, it's gonna get ruined. And I was like, yeah, you're right, it will get ruined if we leave it here, so I guess I gotta take it home! So we took it home! And that's kind of the full story. Of course, I don't have that much time to tell these stories. I get like a minute a pop, and it's like really hard. But that's kind of the tale of how I found this Game Boy. My not Tendo Game Boy GM. Which I love making things uncopyrighted on my channel. You know this. It's a stupid, silly little joke, okay? But that's the story of how I got to keep the Game Boy. And it was such a huge blessing for us, because I don't know what's going on with gender and pancakes in the chat. I'm just gonna let you guys have your fun, okay? While I talk about my childhood. That sounds great. Okay, everybody, thumbs up emoji. But yeah, it was such a blessing, because, like, I would have never been able to get this game otherwise. We were very poor. Like, we were surviving off of the income of my father, and my father was providing for my grandparents, too. So it was like, my father was providing for my grandparents, me, my brother, my mother, and it was just so much. Like, we did not have money, dude. Like, at all. So, hey, person spamming, don't do that. Guess what? Don't do that. Oh god, what is going on in the chat? Guys, you're scaring me. You're scaring me. I'm just watching this go down. Anyways, the game, I saw somebody ask what games I got. I have a lot of Game Boy games to this day. I kept them all. They're like my prized possessions for real. The first game I got was Super Mario Brothers, like the original, like the very old, like very first one. And that was a difficult one to play as a child. It was a very hard game. But then I ended up getting a bunch of other random games. Like, I got Frogger, which I really loved. I got, like, if you know the Pets with a Z, the Pets series, I got, like, the Pets, dogs, and cats. And then I got Pokemon games. I got Pokemon, Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby. And I still have all of them to this day. They're my holy trinity. I love them so much. And I had a lot of Game Boy games, for real. I had Mario vs. Donkey Kong. That was one of my favorite ones, too. My dad loved playing that one, too. He would play it a lot with me. Like, we'd play the Game Boy together a lot. And so I have a lot of fun memories with this Game Boy that would have not ever have entered my life otherwise. So I had this little, like, blessed wild child, like, thanking the gods above for this Game Boy, and it is so wonderful. Is there gonna be more gender stuff? Man, we are just prying into the personal questions today, aren't we, everybody? No, mercy. It's bad enough I went through what I went through, and I've shared it now, and now you're still begging for more? God, gee, can you relax a little bit, please? As far as I've gone no contact with my family. My brother's the only one I talk to. My gender is a big fat question mark. I don't know what I am. I'm still figuring it out, and I think that's fine, and I'll figure it out, and I'll take my time. We're gonna get a lot more things about gender, trust me. I am a confused human being. So, it's not that my gender is very confusing, and it only gets more and more confusing. Because every era, I feel like a different gender. You'll see, it's crazy. Like, I feel like I'm gender fluid, but I'm not sure. You'll find out. We'll find out together, okay? How about that? How about that? Alright, so moving on from Game Boy. This is kind of where it gets weirdly out of order for me, because I had... How do I even explain this? I had, like, an order that this was going to go. Originally. But then I messed up the order somehow. I don't know what happened. Basically, I got really sad about certain episodes, and I didn't want to work on them, so I moved the order around. So that way... Thank you, Koi Fart. Thank you, everybody. Oh, goodness. Thank you, mods. Friggin' appreciate you guys so much today. I have, like, no energy. But yeah, the order episodes got messed up, so if I'm talking about them out of order on stream, it's because I saved my files in this order and I'm just going down my files. So now we're gonna talk about school olden days. So, school olden days was like such a fun, like, tradition for everybody at my school, where we celebrated this like weird, like, kind of cowboy, Wild West kind of, like, almost holiday, like, peasant day. It was so weird looking back on it, like, legit, I was animating this and I was like, oh my god, my country's showing, my southernness is showing. People say, oh, you don't sound like you're from the South. I'm like, I promise you I'm from the South. I keep tubs of grease in my fridge and on my stove, and yeah, I promise I'm Southern, like, I swear to God, like, you can hear it a little bit in my natural voice, but like, oh my god, did I come from the middle of bumfuck nowhere, in the middle of the country, like, good lord have mercy, I'm from the swamplands of Florida. It's bad, y'all. So, like, this is such a weird day, but, like, I freaking love this crap as a kid, okay? Like, this is, like, the best day ever for Wild Child. Wild Child's like, we were peasants and it's awesome! And the other kids are like, what in the world? Also, I love my little bee in a bonnet. Can I just say that? It's freaking adorable. Anyways. I loved this sequence because it was like, you get Wild Child's perspective and she's like, we milk cows! And then I'm like, this is actually a rubber glove full of water. And she's like, we got to get gold! We mined for gold! And then I'm like, it's actually just aquarium gravel. And I just kind of love how it, like, fades in. I don't know, there's something, like, anime about it. It's really fun. Oh my gosh, Autumn Feather! Thank you so much for the super chat. It's your first one! You get little balloons. Yippee! Yippee! Yippee for the balloons! Yippee! That's so fun. Oh my god. I also love your username. God, your username- everybody's usernames are so aesthetic. Like the new sub that we just got, Sock Demon? That's freaking awesome! How aesthetic! How awesome! Gravel, I know, right? I want to eat aquarium gravel so bad. This is why I love nerds. I love eating nerds, Your Honor, for this exact reason. But yeah, Wild Child loved the patty races. It was really funny, like, they just had these fake styrofoam cow poops that we would have to shovel into wheelbarrows and run across a football field with. And it was like the event of the day. Like everybody we'd do like face painting and we like do like churn butter and wash clothes the old-fashioned way, and like we do like all this stuff. And then like we get to the end of the day and they'd be like, okay guys, it's time for like, it's like basically like the recess field day aspect of it. They'd be like, okay, we're gonna go out and we're gonna do patty races, and I swear to God, we did like potato sack racing and all this other stuff, but nothing compared to the hype we felt when we got to do this stupid poop race. Oh my god. Oh my god, the kids were so hyped. Also, the NPCs back here are actually really important. This girl is named Mothi, and she was my best friend in kindergarten. You're gonna see more of her in year 6. She comes up a lot. Like a lot. And then the person next to her is Buzz, who was my other friend in school, and he's this little bee. And I dressed him up like a train conductor because he was huge on Thomas the Tank Engine at the time. And I thought that was a really sweet little nod to that. So these are like my 2 friends. I know everybody's like practically begging in the chat, being like, does Wild Child ever get friends? I'll be your friend, Wild Child. I'm like, I promise I had a couple friends. It wasn't many, but I did have a couple. And I love them so much. And you'll see more of them very soon. I also just want to appreciate the outfits that were in this episode. Like, I got to dress up. I stole Woody's outfit from Toy Story. It was wonderful. Wild Child got to be all cute and dressed up. I had some very not fun comments about this episode that I feel like I should address. That are just, they're a little ignorant. Guys, like, legit. legit. When I say old white people in this video, when I'm like, you know, Nothing about old white people is cool, wild child. I don't mean your grandpa. I don't mean your mother. I don't mean anybody in present day. I'm talking about hundreds of year old colonizers who were horrible, awful people. Okay? When I say old white people, I'm not referencing people you know. People are like, oh my god, what about David Bowie? I'm like, was David Bowie a fucking colonizer? No! Like, that's not what I'm talking about! Stop being stupid! Like, please, I'm dying. The comments I got in this episode were sending me, dude. I was like, people, please stop taking this so literally. Like, I promise you, I'm not hating on anybody you know. I'm not... oh my god, like, bro, we have to sit here, like, we can't defend these people, like, they're awful. Oh my god, the colonizers. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pilgrims. Dude, this whole day was about being peasants, and, like, the whole episode was about celebrating these crappy people who took over this country, and like people were like, oh my god, but my grandpa's cool. I'm like, bro, was your grandpa a colonizer? No, have a nice day. Comment deleted. I'm losing all my brain cells. So yeah, in case you're confused, for some reason, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, Mother of Media Literacy is right. You're so right, Cosmic Kodo. You're so right. Anyways, just had to address that because it's funny, but it's not. It's a little sad, and I'm a little concerned for the internet. But you know, it's the internet. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna move on from that. To which wild child roasts me and calls me an old white person, and then I die. Which you guys seem to really enjoy when I roast myself. Don't worry, there's plenty more where that came from. There's plenty more where that came from. Don't worry. Don't worry, I love making fun of myself. It's fine. Like, we all have to laugh at ourselves sometimes. And I thought it was pretty funny and cheeky, and I thought it was a good joke. But people were genuinely upset, like, why do you hate yourself? I'm like, oh my god, relax. I'm joking. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, just gotta get it out there that this is a joke, everybody. This is a joke. Good Lord have mercy on my soul. Alright, we're gonna move on from olden days. And we're gonna talk about 4th of July. Big fat disclaimer about 4th of July. I did not actually maul a guy on 4th of July. I did not bite his arm. It was something a little less damaging than that. I did grab onto a stranger's arm and was like jumping up and down, like, because my dad basically like would do this thing where he would like lift me up, where if I grabbed onto like his like arm, he would like lift up his arm and lift me up off the ground, and I'd be like, yay! So I did that to a stranger, and he did not know what I was doing, so I was just kind of yanking on his arm like, lift me up, lift me up, lift me up, to this random guy, and he was like looking at my grandma like, what is happening? My grandma's like, oh, she's so cute. She wants to catch more beads. Can you like hold her up to catch more beads? Which is so weird to do to a stranger now that I think about it, but like, that's kind of where the inspiration came from with the end portion of this video, this part of the wild child latching onto this guy's arm and getting flung into the air. Which was just so fun to animate, by the way. But yeah, this episode also stirred up some troubles, to say the least. You are absolutely kidding yourself if you think this country is great. You are absolutely kidding yourself. You're absolutely brainwashed and lying to yourself. I'm just saying, you're absolutely joking, I hope. I hope that you pray that you're joking when you say that you love this country. I pray. That is all. Anyways. Lots of people seem to be very upset that I was like, it's not heart emoji. Because, I don't know, man. I've lived here my whole life, and I think I'm allowed to point out the fact that there's issues with my country. I think I should. I'm not gonna be completely oblivious, and I'm not gonna ignore the fact that we have serious issues that need to be fixed. Is it better than some places? Yeah. Is it perfect? Oh, hell no! No way, dude. We got problems like no tomorrow. We got so many issues. I won't even get into it. I don't even have to. This past week should be enough proof that we have goddamn problems, alright? So, yeah. I'm gonna sit here and say no, it's not a heart emoji. Cause no, it's not! Cause no, it's not! And that's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree. You could disagree. You could say, nah, I love my country. Okay, great. I'm glad you love your country. I don't. That is my opinion. And I'm sorry if my opinion upsets you, but it's an opinion. You don't have to like it. You could just walk away and say, wow, that person's wrong. And that's fine, because I feel that way about you. So we just exist. Handshake emoji. Live and let live, alright? I don't like it here. I don't like it here. And I'm allowed to not like it here. That's my opinion. So I thought it was creepy how my whole childhood I had to put my hand over my heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance every single morning to a flag and then sing the whole national anthem before I could move on with my education. Every single day. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All that good stuff. I can still say it pretty much verbatim. And I shouldn't be able to, because that is creepy and weird that I can do that. So, yeah, it's a little weird. I don't think it's very cool. Every time I've explained that I've had to do this in my childhood, I've gotten the reaction of, this is terrifying. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Also, yes, the whole song. The whole, oh, say, can we see? Like, that whole thing, the entirety of it, every day. And it's creepier when it's, like, little children singing it. And it's creepier when little children are saying it in unison, like 30 of them. It's so creepy. Sorry, I just think it's a little weird, okay? I'm allowed to think this is a little weird, right? Like, this is a little culty, this is a little scary, right? Yeah, okay, thank you. Just like, again, Mothy's in the background of this one, which is fun. I love this shot of me being like, I hate this little shithead, because she was so patriotic. Also, my dumbass put this on July 3rd. Point and laugh, because I put the flag on July 3rd instead of the 4th. I about died laughing when I saw this. I saw the calendar, I was like, first of all, there's only 5 days. Second of all, I put it on the 3rd and not the 4th. I'm such an idiot, dude. I think that this is funny as hell. I was like, you know what? You know what, this is fine. July 4th? Oh, God help me. Literally. Dude, most of year 5, I don't know where my brain cells were. Like, they were gone. Like, gone, dude. You could... My God, some details are so detailed, and then some details I look and I'm like, you know, at least I had the spirit. I really tried. I thought it was funny that nobody noticed, and I was like, good. I slid under the radar, and then I was like, no, I'll come clean about my July 3rd mistake, because that's really funny, actually. I love this little parade shot, it was so cute. I had like this little patriotic pig in the background. I thought he was cute. And this little fox. God, the little trail. It was like, Wild Child was obsessed with that road. Like, there's like this, oh gosh, big yawn. Incoming. Ugh, it's so dark outside today, so I'm all yawning and tired and everything. But Wild Child was obsessed with the idea of, like, this road, because it was, like, a big historical road in my town.
Honestly, I never really thought about the weirdness of the anthems, but look back, yeah, it was weird.
Right, Crinkles? Right. That's what I'm saying. But... oh, God. But yeah, like this big historical road was where we had all of our parades and events and stuff. So like to her it was like super important that she pointed out the historical train station and stuff. I did a lot of chorus concerts here. I actually, in the next year, you'll see Wild Child gets to join choir. And I get to learn how to sing and stuff. So it's really, like, her only extracurricular she ever got to do. So this is why she brings up this stuff, is because it's important later. I love these shots so much. Look at my little fireman snake! My little fireman snake is so cute! I love my little NPCs, my little black cat! Little girly pop, little firefighter. She's slaying, dude. She's slaying. Also, everybody who was in the comments was like, raw meat. Why was it raw? Weren't they cooking it? Like, bro, y'all clearly never been to the South. Y'all clearly never had Southern firefighters fry anything up for you because, my God, the whole outside's gonna be charcoal and just pitch black coal. And it's gonna taste like a grill. And then you're gonna bite into it, and you're gonna get raw meat in the middle. Raw meat in the middle. That's exactly how they like it. And it's terrible. It is exactly what I said it was. It is raw meat coated in charcoal. That is essentially what 4th of July firefighter meal is going to be. And that is all I had as a child. So yeah, it was just straight up raw meat. Like, period. Like, it was barely cooked, Your Honor. My Discord server really loved shipping these two grandmas together, and I just want to say, yeah, like, love wins, I love them. These are lesbian grandmas now. This is the background lore. This is the lore nobody asked for, but we're getting. These two are solely in love, and they're so cute together, and I love her little bows. Little Grandma Frog and little Grandma, Cocker Spaniel. Freaking so adorable, making their iced tea on 4th of July together. Sweethearts. Love them together. Love them together. I also thought it was really funny that, like, I hate tea, and this has been a consistent, like, thing in my life. I just hate the taste of tea. It's terrible. I just think it's awful. So I had Wild Child, like, being like, we had tea! Hooray! And then, like, on screen, she's like, what? This is terrible! And I'm like, yeah, it is terrible. This sucks. I hate this. I really hate this. So, I thought it was funny when my nanny's looking at me like, ah, yes, the child that hates tea. Oh, I did this cute little shot of her catching the beads and candy. Which was cute. I love this shot of me being terrified of my child self and all of the raw meat and the sugary tea and all the stuff. And I'm like, warning the audience. And she's just being so feral, and it was so fun to voice act this out. Just saying. It's nothing's more fun than sitting in your basement and going, I love 4th of July! It's so much fun. You know? Normal things to do in your basement. Very fun. The next episode... I just closed it. What a dingus. What a dummy. I'll do that. I closed the wrong one. Alright, so the next one is actually the Rubber Ducky episode, which was a newer episode. I had recorded everything else. And then I was going through all of the episodes and I was doing like a big editing writing session, and then I realized that this incident occurred way earlier than I expected. This was gonna be like in year 7. And I was like, dude, no, this happened way earlier, because like the thing that made me realize that this memory was earlier than I thought was the fact that my brother couldn't swim yet. I was like, oh, like Rocky must have been really young. Holy crap. So I had to move this episode into this year. So it was like a weird one for me, because I was like, where is this gonna fit? Like, I already made, like, all the other episodes. I was like, alright, here comes this one. So, I'm really glad this one ended up in here, though, because I really wanted to exemplify more, how much I did to raise my brother. So... because you hate tea. I'm sorry! Everybody's so mad about me not liking tea. Look, I gave every single tea in the world a try. I worked at a tea shop in Hawley's era. And I promise you, I've tried every tea there is. I don't like it, I'm sorry. I have different taste buds. I'm sorry. If I had to drink tea, it would be chai tea, and would be very sugary and barely even considered a tea at that point. And only other tea I like is maybe like a white raspberry tea that's cold. I like cold teas. I don't like warm tea. I'm sorry. But anyways, back to rubber duckies. I really wanted to show the fact that I raised my brother and everything down to teaching him how to walk. This is kind of the only shot you're gonna get of the inevitable that's about to occur, of my parents kind of fighting and arguing. I have very distant memories of this. I think they kept most of their arguments and stuff away from us. Like, I distinctly remember them starting to argue, and then they would, like, move outside. Or they would leave the room entirely. Like, one person would get in their car and leave. Sort of things. Like, they tried to not fight around us, honestly. But the few moments that they did stick with me. And eventually the fighting did get pretty bad, and the fighting did get more violent, and the fighting did get crazy and all that. But that was, like, towards the very end. So yeah, that was just like happening, and I knew that they were on the brink of probably separating. But yeah, this is like a true fact about my birther, in case, you know, you thought that she was redeemable, which I've seen comments about people being like, oh, but she's your mother, oh, she's the only one you're ever gonna get, and I'm just like, this woman did not know what Baba meant. That is the most basic thing ever. I genuinely don't know how I lived. I don't know how I lived. I don't know how she took care of me. I don't know how I'm alive at this point. This woman did not understand when my brother said Baba that it meant drink. Like, are you joking? Like, God. Anyways, so yes, this person had no idea what anything meant and would genuinely refer to me, the 5-year-old, for advice on, what does your brother want? What does he want? I don't know what he wants. I don't understand him. And that was, like, kind of my responsibility most of my life, was, like, deciphering my brother for my parents, or just all together taking care of him for them. Like, it was just so, like, apparent. Like, I thought it was also really kind of fun in this shot. I have Wild Child playing her Game Boy. Like, she's just like, I'd like to imagine that it's like, you know those classic TV scenarios where the parents are like at the kitchen table reading the newspaper and the kids are like sitting at the table eating their cereal and asking questions? It's kind of like that, except Wild Child's the parent with the newspaper. And she's just playing her Game Boy like, yes, mother, what do you need? Oh yeah, Rocky needs this thing, thank you, okay, bye. And it's like, it's just really funny. Like, the sass of, like, being like, oh my god, clearly Rocky needs these two things, you stupid idiot, like, obviously. And I think the faces on the birth are really fun. Like, this is the surprise Pikachu face. But yeah, I love this shot because it's just my amazing digital circus obsession leaking into Persona Project, because I love the scribbly eyes, and I was like, that's the best way to describe anxiety, actually. That's just anxiety. This is the only shot, too, that you see Rocky holding the rubber ducky before the incident happens. And then you get, like, Rocky's trying to walk into the freaking ocean, and I'm like, oh my god, please stop! Please don't do that! And then you get kind of this, like, sassy little face from him. And he's, like, trying to tell me that his duck's in the water. I did try to go in there, and it was freezing cold. It was very cold, and I could not do it. I could not get out there to get the duck. And it was just kind of sad. We just kind of sat there. The thing about this memory that I didn't include is that my father was there. And he was like, this is the funniest thing ever, actually. I'm kind of like, I know why I didn't include it, but it's a really funny thing. So, my father was there, and my father was trying to be, like, all wistful and, like, looking out into the ocean, and, like, we were watching the sunrise is what we were doing. My dad got us up super early. We were staying at, like, this hotel on the beach, and he was like, we're gonna go watch the sunrise. And we were like, oh, yay, you know? And then he was like, then you can play in the water if you want to, or, like, play in the sand or whatever if you want to, but it's gonna be cold. And we were like, we wanna go swimming, and, like, you know, I didn't care it was gonna be cold. Spoiler alert, I ended up caring. But as a kid, I was like, I don't care! And we went out there, my dad's all wistful looking out into the ocean. He's all like, now this is the sunrise, and this is the important part of life, is spending time together. He's trying to be all, like, emotional and give this speech and everything. And all of a sudden, I'm like, no! The rubber ducky! Rocky's rubber ducky! And, like, we're, like, screaming and crying, and I, like, jump in the water, and I'm like, it's too cold! Dad, go get it! Dad, go get it! And he wouldn't. He was like, no, no, like, it's too cold, the tide's really strong, no! Like, he needed to get me out of there. And, like, the duck just disappeared into the horizon as we're, like, crying. And my dad's like, well, there goes my whimsical morning. I tried so hard to, like, make an impact and, like, do something fun and cool and, like, you know, like, all, like, mystical, wonderful sunrise. And, like, we ruined it, dude. It's really funny. It's like the other side of this memory, but I decided to do more of the, like, kind of the guilt and the shame of, like, I was responsible for that duck. I was responsible for all of Evan's things and his well-being and his safety most of my life, and, like, this really was what it was like for me, and I just thought it was important, because when I was telling my brother about this episode, like, he told me in person, he was like, I don't blame you for that, like, we were just kids. And, like, so I really wanted to show that my brother, to this day, does not blame me and thinks that I am a really good sibling. And it was reassuring, and, like, I wanted Wild Child to feel that too, so that's why I animated this part. This episode ended becoming up, like, a really big staple of this year, honestly. I'm really glad I added it into this year, because year 7's really packed. And I feel like this episode would have just been lost in kind of all the stuff that's happening in that one, and I'm glad that this one got a little bit more attention because it was kind of one of the more serious ones of this year. Welcome in, new people. Wow, there's constantly new people flooding in today. Welcome, welcome. I bet the rubber ducky is having an amazing view from the shore. All of us crying, and it's like, later, losers! Puts on its backwards hat. It's like, bye! Yeah, I'd like to think that rubber duck ends up on another shore and some other kids get to pick it up. Like, wow, we found a mystery rubber duck that, like, was sent to us from the heavens, you know? Like, it's like the Game Boy exchange. I got a Game Boy, somebody got a duck, you know? Like, we exchange items in the world, maybe. Maybe that's how we should look at it, right? Oh, goodness. But yes, that was Rubber Ducky. I personally was really iffy about that episode being in this year, but I loved it. I loved how it turned out. I enjoyed that very much. Oh boy. Oh, we're talking about Bloom. Bloom is the episode that kind of changes everything. Content warning. Content warning. We're gonna talk about a little bit of bullying and a little bit of this really special and specific neurodivergent experience that could be triggering to some that I like to call society. Because it's a deeply, deeply upsetting thing for a lot of people when you're born into a world that isn't built for you. Water, Hawley. Why is everyone screaming at me? I will dink! I will dink, I will dink. Here. Ugh, there we go. There we go. So, this part was totally true. One time I did jump off of a playground just to prove that I wouldn't die. I was like standing on top of the playground in my backyard and I was like, I could jump off of this and I wouldn't die because life wouldn't let me die. Life wouldn't let that happen. And I jumped off and I lived and I was like, see, I would have died if life wanted me to. Like, what a crazy mindset. Like, kids really are unstoppable, dude. Kids really do believe they are invincible. And I had that mindset, like, I would test that theory on a regular basis because I was like, I'm invincible. Like, I thought I was the main character. I was the only one that was invincible. Like, it was just crazy. As you will see, bit of a sad note, as you will see, throughout Wild Child's era, you have seen a lot of cameras. Like, a lot of cameras. And I want you to know that every time I have to draw these cameras, I get very, 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 very uncomfortable. I don't like cameras. I mean, you could probably tell why. But I always had cameras on me. I was always being recorded and photos were being taken of me. It's a very ominous feeling. When you know what happens to me in the future. It is a very weird feeling, and even this picture, was like a unsettling feeling for me. I don't like cameras. I also was very self-conscious about my smile, because I don't know if you know this is like a common, like, neurodivergent autism experience. We can't smile for the camera, especially as kids. I did the thing where, like, I'm gonna have to draw this actually. Let me get like a new canvas and show you guys exactly what I mean. Most people, when they smile, you get like a this. When I would smile as a kid, I'd do like a this. Like showing all my teeth like this. Okay? That's how I thought smiling was. I didn't know you had to like point your face in a different way. Like, I didn't know that, like, I wasn't smiling right. I would just, like, bare my teeth, essentially. And be like, I'm smiling. And they'd be like, no, you look, like, constipated. You look miserable. And it's like, I had to learn how to smile correctly. So, like, I remember this kindergarten photo that I got, right before I walked out the door to go to the bus stop all by myself. I remember I didn't smile right, and how everybody would, like, point at that picture and be like, it was so cute, haha, you didn't even know how to smile. And, like, I felt very self-conscious about that. So I wanted to include this, like, really small memory I had. And also include the yellow butterfly. If you remember in Wild Child's little Ask Wild Child series, she talked about a yellow butterfly that follows her everywhere. That's true! Like, I had a butterfly, like, consistently in my life. Like, at very significant moments, I found this little yellow butterfly. And so I decided to animate it in, just kind of fluttering by. As Wild Child talks about her proud accomplishments here. And the smell of honeysuckles and gardenias and, magnolias are, like, super tied to my childhood because of this bus stop. So I really had to make sure I included those honeysuckles, and I did pick them a lot, and I did try to give them to people in school, and yeah, nobody liked that. I got told a lot as a kid, like, I would try to give people flowers, and they'd be like, ew, that's for crushes. You should only do that when you have a crush on somebody. That's weird. And I was like, but flowers are for everybody. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I just want to give you a flower, and like, they always took it as like a weird, like crush status thing, and it was like really annoying to me because I was like, first of all, I've never felt that way about anybody. Second of all, I was like, I just want to be your friend, and they were just like, ew, you're weird, I don't like you. And because I would try to give flowers to girls, and like girls were like, ew, like, you know, you can't like girls, like, you know, and it's just really annoying and dumb and stupid. We're gonna get into that in the next couple of years. Year 6 has a really fun episode called Girls, and it is the most lesbian-coded thing in the whole wide world, and I can't wait for you guys to be like, what? And I'll be like, yeah! it's my direct evidence of, like, if people are like, oh my god, being gay is a choice, I'm like, oh honey, no it is not. I was 6 years old when I figured out I was gay. Like, whoa. But anyways, off topic there. This is a early sighting of this character. I'm gonna introduce this character. There's gonna be a formal introduction video, coming up when it comes to, like, what these entities are. Wild Child does not know what they are. I hope that it's, like, clear to everybody that, like, Wild Child doesn't even know these things are here. Wild Child is interacting with them and is carrying them, but Wild Child has no idea that they're there. Wild Child can't see them. Yet. So, this is the Trickster. The Trickster is... Here, I'll pull up his ref sheet, actually. I'll pull up the whole ref sheet here. But Trickster is an entity that basically lives with all the eras. The Trickster is this entity that basically, it represents my depression and anxiety. Because I feel like they've gone hand in hand my entire life. I feel like I've never just been depressed or just anxious. Like, I feel like they go hand in hand. So my depression and anxiety is one being known as the Trickster, because it really is like this jester-like, clown-like thing that kind of lives inside of my head that makes me believe things that are not true. So I really played with this design for a while. Like, this guy has no heart, heartless, completely heartless, full of holes, literally full of holes, has jingle bells, you can always hear him coming. You can always hear him coming. He's got these big feet, clown shoes. He's got, like, all of these, like, kind of ominous circle-like features where it's like, he's kind of like this round character in the sense of he's trying to invite you in. But he also has these jagged edges of, like, but be cautious. So this was the intention of the design, was to have, like, a very clear, like a friendly but also warning kind of character. And that's kind of how I feel with my mental illnesses. They are, like, very much so, like, comfort, but also they're not good for me. And that's kind of what I was trying to go for. So this entity came up as early as Wild Child. Like, my depression and anxiety symptoms were very clear by this point. When I started school, like, that's when it just started. So I decided to make this character more cat-like because Wild Child really likes cats. And that would also be another kind of false comfort of, like, oh, but it's just a big kitty cat, like, and it's not. It's a mental illness. So that is kind of what the Trickster is, and the Trickster, their ability is basically they have augmentation. They can grow and shrink. And they grow and shrink with how much power I give them. So when Wild Child's really, really sad, this thing grows. And when Wild Child's happy, or is optimistic, or is fighting the anxiety, it gets smaller. It doesn't have power. So this is a very, like, interesting character, and you're gonna see it come up a lot in this series. And there's gonna be, like, a whole episode that I'm gonna release. It's gonna be a longer episode. It's not gonna be on a YouTube short. It's just gonna be, like, a special that I'm gonna make. And it's gonna be, like, a full animated YouTube video. And it's gonna be about all the eras discussing what these entities are, because they're very concerned about it. They're like, hey, have you noticed this thing? And they're like, yeah, I have seen that thing. What is that thing? And then you get to, like, poor Haley, and Haley's like, I have 4 of them. What do you mean you guys only see 2? I have 4. And they're all trying to figure out what they are, and then they give them all names, and they all figure it out together. So you guys will see them, and they'll get a whole thing going on here. But for now, it's more of a mystery, and I kind of like to keep it that way, because I didn't really know what it was when I was a kid, obviously. Here's a fun little cameo of the original drawing I did of Peeves, that I did as Wild Child. Like, it looked just like this, so I had her drawing that on her little desk. But all of these little background characters, I reuse it a lot, like they're very consistent. It's my kindergarten class. This little white cat is actually a character named Snaily, and Snaily's gonna be important in the next year. But this was the neurodivergent experience, in my opinion. This is how it felt to grow up in a world that wasn't built for you. All of a sudden, I was, like, thrown into this world where I was expected to act a certain way, and everybody kept calling me weird, and I did not know why. Because nobody told me that it was okay to be autistic. Everybody was just like, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, don't act autistic, stop acting autistic, and I was basically, like, abused and bullied into trying to act normal when I know I wasn't, and it was a very ominous feeling of like, what? I'm doing everything right. Why does anybody, like, why is everybody saying I'm weird? Like, what? And I don't understand. Like, people in cartoons could give each other flowers and they become friends, but if I try to give somebody flowers, it doesn't work. I'm confused, and like, my conduct was bad because I belonged in special ed. I belonged in special ed because I was gifted and I was bored out of my mind.
OMG, it's dollar store lobelia.
Yeah.
Go away.
Oh my god, strawberries! That's so cute. I don't know if I got any strawberries today. That's awesome, thank you. Oh, Fizzy. Dollar store lobelia. Yeah. LOL. There she is. If you know, you know. But, yeah, my conduct was bad, man. Like, I didn't want to sit still. I couldn't sit still. I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to make friends. I wanted more out of school than to be sit down and tested over and over again for something so stupid that I could do in my sleep. Like, yeah, my conduct was terrible. And, like, I was so confused. I was, like, screaming at the top of my lungs, like, somebody tell me what's going on, what I'm supposed to be doing. And then all of a sudden I get rewarded, I get gold stars and trophies and all this stuff for, like, being so smart. And I'm like, why does that matter? I can't make friends. What does me being able to do a math problem determine my worth? Like, even as a child, I knew that this was messed up. I knew that this was messed up and this was stupid. And, like, I didn't want to conform. And I fought so hard not to, but it didn't work. It didn't work. And then on top of it, I was abandoned. Like, I was abandoned. Like, this memory, like, kind of changed my life forever. 'Cause, like, before I felt like I had something. I had family, I had people, but, like, school was the big eye-opener to show me that my life was not normal. That I saw other kids get out of the bus and they go up to their parents, we're waiting for them. Or their parents would come in the car when it was cold outside, and they'd pick up their kids in their cars so their kid didn't have to be cold. And, like, it made me realize no one was there. And that wasn't normal. And when I got off the bus that day, and my mother was nowhere to be found and I had to go back to school, I waited in this empty office. The only person that was there was the principal. And my brother has stories like this too. My brother recalls the principal actually had to drive him home once. Like, we were just so abandoned. And, like, sitting in that office alone was so scary. And that's when I felt the most anxious and depressed, because I was like, what if they never come? What if they never come and pick me up? What if I'm stuck at school forever? And I think that that's the first time I really truly felt anxiety. Like, to the point where I was shaking and I was worried about the possibilities of what this abandonment meant. And the reality, like, finally hitting me was depressing. Like, it was depressing. And then, ever since then, I've had these entities. I've had these mental disorders. I've had all these problems. Because I finally, like, had the realization that I was not normal. And that's rough, man. If you're neurodivergent, you get it. You reach a point where you realize you're not like everybody else, and it is devastating when you realize it. But the good news is, there's a lot of us, and we found each other now. Maybe not as kids, but we're here now, and it's really cool that we have the internet, and that we can find our niches, and we can find more people like us, and I'm so grateful for that, honestly, genuinely. Like, I see you, and I understand you so much. We are the same, and school did us no justice, but we survived and we're here now, and I'm grateful for that. And that's Bloom. Bloom was a big one. Bloom was a big one. I was very much anticipating that one to be a big episode, because I knew it was the one where things just shifted drastically. The next one we're gonna talk about is gonna be stim, so we got a bit of a silly one. My favorite stim is scratching my head. I do it all the time. You might even hear it sometimes on stream when I'm like really thinking about stuff. I constantly as a child was being kind of like back and forth out of the nurse's office because my teacher thought I had lice. Also love the moth nurse guy, he was rad. But it's like this constant cycle, and I was so confused, and like as a kid I didn't understand what was going on because I didn't really understand what lice was and like why scratching my head was such a bad thing. And so it's really funny because you get like me like trying to focus and like do all this stuff, and then the teacher's like walks by and I act like I'm not doing it, and the second she's gone I'm like, oh finally, and then she catches me anyways and I'm like, ah, I'm gonna explode. And I love her like shocked Pikachu like, oh my god expression. I love it so much. She's like, oh my god, girl, relax. And I'm like, no! And I just love how this episode cuts off with a fire. Like, it's so dramatic. And I love that so much. But yeah, some stims can be embarrassing. My most embarrassing stim that I have right now is I meow a lot. I meow a lot, and I hate it when I do it in public. Because it's a very specific, like, meow that I do. I go, meow meow, meow meow, meow meow. And I do that a lot, and I'll just start going, meow meow, meow meow, meow meow, when I'm in, like, an aisle, and then somebody will walk by, and I'm like, oh god, okay, not in public, not in public. No meowing, not right now. And it's like, makes me sound insane, because I sound like I'm just like, no, no, not right now, like, to my invisible cat. I love meowing, and, like, every time I'm drawing and I mess something up, I'll, like, hiss. Like a normal person. Like, yeah, I love my stims. I do a lot more hand flapping now. I wasn't really allowed to do it as a kid, or I'd get called literally get called slurs. So yeah, I wasn't allowed to do it as a kid, but now I do it. I love doing it now. I do it a lot. So there's a lot. I do a lot more stims now, but my main one is scratching my head still because it's just a very quiet, kind of subtle stim that most people are just kind of chill with, and I appreciate most people are chill with it nowadays. The next episode is Lucky Lions. Lucky Lions. I'm excited about this one because you guys had such fun stories about your schools and like what you guys would do. Hawley and their Therian arc. Please, Nate. I'm more of a furry than a Therian, I feel. I definitely feel more furry aligned than Therian aligned. I still love Therians and I love furries, but I feel myself I'm more furry than Therian. But yeah, Lucky Lions were this currency at my school where you trade them in for prizes. And Wild Child almost never got any because we were shithead children and it was great. But yeah, basically, nap time was like non-existent for me. I never slept at nap time. I would just pretend to be asleep, and then I'd sit there with my little tickets and kick my little feet and be like, hee hee, I got tickets because I tricked them, I fooled them that I was asleep, and like, oh my god, I swear they were sympathy tickets. Like, these teachers were just like, at least she's quiet. And like, that was kind of the Nothing. Here's more of the Mothy and Snaily in the background. I love drawing the little prizes. I had like glow sticks, paddle balls, yo-yos, bouncy balls, like all the fun stuff. And like, oh, these bouncy balls were so nostalgic. The patterns on them sent me. I was like, I love these. And I drew like these very detailed pencils, like the Halloween ones and like the groovy peace sign ones. And like the erasers. Okay, if you know, you know. The Scholastic Book Fair erasers hit different, y'all. I love them so much. Oh man, I to this day find myself looking for these erasers. Every time I go to like a dollar store or something, I go to that section and I'm like, please have the fun erasers, please have the fun erasers. Like, I'm praying for them. I want them. They're so yummy and delicious and yummy. And I'm just a disclaimer, please don't actually eat them. Don't actually eat them. Don't actually eat them. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. But yeah, I love this last shot. So it's just of me and Wild Child, and she's like gnawing on this eraser like a freaking dog. And then I'm just like disgustedly like, because nowadays I think the texture of eraser is horrid and I would never put it in my mouth. And it's just so gritty and disgusting, and I hate it now. But as a kid I loved it, and I'm like, it's funny how like my sensory stuff changes, because like as an adult I hate it, but as a child I loved it. So it's like really funny. I like thinking about the differences between us and what I could stand as a child and what I can't stand as an adult being so different. Okay, we got a couple more episodes. This next one I'm gonna put up a content warning for as well. It's another kind of depressing one. It's the Caboose episode. This episode's taking forever to load because it's like such a animation dense one. But yes, this is Caboose. It's about, in case you guys were confused about what a caboose was, I didn't realize that most people might not understand what that means. The caboose was the last person when you stand in line at school. You basically had different jobs. So you had the leader, who was the first person in line, then you had the door holder, who was the second person in line, and then you had the caboose, who was the last person in line. And when we would line up to go to lunch or go to different places, it was like, okay, everybody, get into your spots. And I was always the caboose. And I voluntarily chose to be the caboose because I was so bullied as a kid. And like, I knew that if I was last, people couldn't pull my hair or people couldn't call me names and stuff because they literally couldn't see me. It was like out of sight, out of mind, so I just kind of erased myself out of the situation by making myself the caboose. So here's this shot of being left behind and carrying the Trickster, the little kitten version of Trickster. And there's a shot of, this actually happened when I was a kid. I, one time, decided to kind of sadly test the theory if people would notice if I disappeared. And one time when we were walking to lunch, the teacher was like, oh, you're falling behind, catch up. And I just stopped entirely. And I waited. And I sat there, and I stood there, waiting for the teacher to turn around and say, wait, where's Wild Child? But they just went into the cafeteria, and they never checked if I was there. They didn't even notice that I did not follow them through the door. The door holder 100% looked back at me and then just shut it. And it was just like, in that moment I was like, wow, I really can disappear. Like, people really don't care if I disappear. I was 5 years old, gamers. 5 years old, I was having thoughts like this. And that's I'm advocating so much for children's mental health. I was depressed as a child. I was depressed. You do not have thoughts of disappearing at 5 years old. okay? That is not normal. And I know that now as an adult, but God, this is not supposed to be how it is. And I constantly would test this theory, and it would get proven right. And it was so morbidly depressing that it was being proven right all the time. That nobody wanted Wild Child. And so this entity grew. This depression grew. It grew larger and larger. It just out of my control grew. And the thing about Wild Child is that Wild Child didn't know the trickster was there. So, like, you see her physically holding this thing and feeding into this thing, but she doesn't know that. She doesn't know what depression is. So, like, I didn't know I was depressed as a kid, but looking back, I can see it. That this thing was there. It felt what I felt. If you notice, the patterns change on this creature whenever emotions change. So, like, instead of being polka dots, it's, like, now zigzagged. Like, the creature is very much a part of me. It's not a persona, but it's a part of me. It does feel what I feel. So, that's, like, the thing people are asking all of these, is this another persona? And I'm like, no. I also want to address that my autism will never be another separate entity, because I am autistic. Autism isn't something that I have. It's not like a mental illness. Okay, it's just a part of me in all my eras. So we are autistic. I'm not a person with autism. I'm an autistic person, if that makes sense. Just to clarify, sometimes people don't understand that, genuinely, and I want to genuinely educate you. That most people don't say they have autism. Most people say that they are autistic. And that's exactly how this is. Like, I have depression, and I can be depressed. But it's not the same thing, because this is a mental illness, whereas autism is a part of myself that is an acceptable thing that I love about myself. That is a disability, but something that I have to live with forever. And it's something that I actually love about myself. So, this is like just a little PSA about that. What in the world is going on with my music? It's like a whole carnival going on back here. But yeah, the entity is there. Wild Child's feeling extremely lonely and abandoned. Because yeah, as a kid, I knew what was going on. Like, I wasn't stupid. Like, I knew that I was being treated badly. But I didn't know how to express that, because I was never taught how to express emotions. I think the most depressing thing about being an adult now is that my current therapy, one of my latest sessions, I was sitting there. My therapist was like, okay, honey, you are lacking basic fundamentals when it comes to just having emotions. We have to start over. Like, we're gonna pretend that you're in kindergarten and we're gonna start over. And I'm gonna teach you, some more vocabulary for some feelings. Because I kept going to her and I was like, I'm like, depressed. And she was like, okay. Are you depressed? Or are you tired? Are you exhausted? Like, is it more than tired? Or are you just sleepy? Or are you, like, she kept giving me words to describe different aspects of different feelings that I never really thought about before. I was just kind of like, I'm either sad, I'm angry, or I'm happy. And it was so basic. Like, the only understanding I had of emotions is basic. And so, my emotional intelligence is that of Wild Child. And it's really hard to now have to open up my mind to being like, no, there's bigger, more grown-up words to describe how I'm feeling. And I never learned those things. I never learned those things. So now, we're going back and we're learning those things. There's like a basic fundamental that I'm lacking. And Wild Child, you know, she's lacking those things. And like, she doesn't know how to describe how she feels. She doesn't know how to tell people she's being abused. Like, how can you? That's so much bigger than you when you're a kid, especially. So, here she is, kind of like, the background kind of starts to scribble and things start to get a little insane. Because she's starting to break down, because she's like, nobody cares. Because, you know, me and Wild Child, we do the autistic thing. God, this music is freaking nutso. Can you relax? Jeez Louise. Anyways. I keep the music upbeat even though I'm talking about depressing things, because, you know, we gotta keep something going here. Literally, what is wrong with this playlist, huh? We're gonna go back to the DS era, because, like, what the freaking Lord have mercy and all that is holy going on in my goddamn music playlist right now. Anyways. Jesus. But yeah, Wild Child, like, we're autistic, okay? Like, we don't know how to describe our emotions. Like, the only way we know how to connect with people is by showing them quite dramatically. There's actually, like, maybe I should pull that up right now. There's actually this whole episode was cut down drastically, and I think I should read out what the first script was, because it explains a lot more context as to, like, what the episode's actually about. This episode is actually more about the autism experience, because, or just neurodivergency in general, because it's very much like you learn to mimic what neurotypical people are doing. You learn how to communicate with them by communicating their way. And, like, this is, it's such a hard thing to explain when it's like, it's just like so normal for me, but not normal for most people. Basically, here's the original script of this episode. It was like, oh, Wild Child, you're falling behind, and then she says, isn't that what the Caboose is supposed to do? And I said, signs of my avoidant personality disorder were always there, my depression too. It only took a few weeks of public schooling to open my eyes to what the world wanted me to be, and how I couldn't fit into that mold. And then she says, I'm always the Caboose, no one likes me, all that stuff. And then I said, as an autistic person, I'm always trying to over-dramatize my feelings for the neurotypicals to understand me. As a kid, I knew deep down I was being neglected and abused. I was hurting, and kindergarten was my first real chance to connect with anyone that wasn't my insane family. And then she goes into, but no one cared. No one cared how sad I was. No one asked if I was okay. I thought that's how it worked. What she's talking about, how that worked, is we put on a mask and we show them, look, I'm sad, look, I'm sad, I'm doing all the sad things, I'm sighing, I'm being dramatic, I'm dragging my feet, I'm crying, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, and like over-exemplifying the fact that I'm sad, so that way neurotypical people will do the neurotypical thing of asking, what's wrong? What's wrong? You seem sad, what's wrong? But the problem was, genuinely no one cared. Whether I was masked or unmasked. I tried so hard to show these people how much I was hurting. They did not care. Unfortunately, I was in an environment where that was not something I had. And so I eventually had to turn inwards and take care of myself. And like, that's kind of like what this horrible truth is like, Wild Child's just breaking down, crying, asking me why. Why doesn't anybody care about us? Why does anybody care that we're being hurt and abused? And like, the saddest part about it is that I had to tell her that it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better, but it gets easier. But like, the idea of the mask is not going to work. You're gonna spend your whole life masking. You're gonna spend your whole life trying to get these people to understand you and fit in a world where you don't belong. Also, in the chat, good lord have fucking mercy. I am trying to talk about my life, and you guys are being so stinking disrespectful. You're making me want to end stream. I'm not gonna, because I know there's a lot of great people here who are being respectful, and I'm not gonna punish the majority for a loud minority. If you guys dox yourselves, or if you seem young, I'm sorry, I'm going to ban you from my channel. If you are younger than the TOS for being on YouTube and not YouTube Kids, I'm gonna send you to the Shadow Realm. You do not belong here. I'm sorry. If you are very young and you are watching my videos, they are not for you. You are too young for this, and you need to go. I'm sorry. I know it looks like a cartoon, I know it looks childish, but that is just my style. I'm sorry. Listen, I am constantly blocking minors on my channel. If you guys do things like reveal your age or your location or your real name, I am instantly blocking you from the channel from ever making another comment again. On my live streams, on my everywhere, my YouTube community posts, my videos, my shorts. Like, I believe the age for YouTube is 13. If I'm remembering correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 13. But the moment you start doxing yourself, I'm going to block you to protect you. Because I don't want anybody else seeing that information. I don't want anybody else hurting you. Especially on my channel. So, like, do not do that, please. Understand that if you get blocked, it's because I am protecting you. You might hate me now, but you're gonna love me later when you grow up and you realize there was at least one adult in your life who was trying to save you on the internet, okay? Because the internet is a bad place. The internet is a scary place. I'm an exception. I am a safe place. So that doesn't mean that you can do all that stuff, like here, just because this is an exception. It's not. I'm still gonna protect you. Like, the term Mama Hawley is still here. Like, I'm gonna parent the shit out of you if nobody else is going to. With a little bit of tough love, alright? So, safety is important here, okay? It's 12? Wow, that's so young. What the fuck? It should be way older than that. It should be 13. Yeah, just from now on, in case you wonder, if you for some reason realize that your comments aren't showing up on videos, it's maybe because you're too young, and I'm trying to protect you. In the only way that I literally can, so. Just as a heads up. Anyways, back to literally talking about my life experiences. It's kind of what we're here to do here. So, yeah, the idea of this video really is the idea that the mask is not going to work. And having to tell her that is really hard. It's hard to look at your inner child and be like, hey, the only coping mechanism you know isn't gonna work, and it's only gonna hurt you. It's scary. She's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, what do I do if I'm not masked? What do I do if they don't understand me? And I'm like, honey, they don't have to understand you. Your goal in life isn't to be understood. Your goal in life is to love yourself. Like, your goal in life isn't to be loved by others. Your goal in life is to love yourself. Understand yourself. It's not about them. They're gonna make it all about them. Neurotypical people have a lovely fucking ego that they love to do. Like, not bragging on all neurotypicals, okay? Not all of y'all, but I'm just saying that most people don't have to worry about the things neurodivergent people have to worry about. You guys have a privilege. But, man, it was really rough to have to tell my inner child that essentially our only safety net ends up hurting us in the end. And, like, I cried. I cried my eyes out recording this. Like, you can hear it. People were like, oh my god, the acting is so good! And I'm like, honey, darling, sweetie gravy. This is not acting. I was legit crying my eyes out. That was me bawling because I couldn't even get through the script without thinking of telling this poor kid that like, it doesn't work. And that we're gonna suffer and we're gonna struggle our entire lives, and that she really just wants to be heard and seen, and she wants to feel better, and I had to tell her that that doesn't happen. That was rough. I cried a lot. I cried a lot. And, like, you're gonna see a lot more crying in this series. Like, I'm gonna cry a lot. This thing, like, freaking grows and grows and grows in the background, but the second it shrinks is when I start comforting her. And I start telling her, yeah, none of this is gonna work, but it's okay. Because I'm here now. And I see you. And I understand you. Because now I understand myself, and that is the most important thing. Being understood by other people should not have been a priority for me. And the second I started letting go of that, the better I felt. I was like, wow, all I want to do is understand Wild Child and show her that I see her and I love her now. Because I spent my whole life hating myself. So that's the importance of this episode. Of chasing off this depression and anxiety that just very grumbly, disgruntled, just stomps away. When I kind of defeat it. And I kind of protect her from it. And that's like the big episode for me. This was like the most, I spent like 9 days on that episode. Because it just was so painful for me to get through. Like, I cried so much while making it, I cried while recording it, I cried while writing it. Like, it was just a big, fat, emotional release. And that's the end of my little spiel about Caboose. So if you were a Caboose too, my best advice is to not spend so much time caring what other people think. And that was the doorbell. Every single time I live stream, the doorbell goes off. Okay, give me one moment, everybody. Sorry, one moment. Wow, you guys are not gonna believe what that was about. It's somebody else's freaking DoorDash at my door! I don't even have DoorDash! I don't even order that crap! It's just somebody else's order sitting at my door. I'm gonna leave it there, because I'm sure the owner responsible is gonna get their picture of it, and they're gonna go, what the freak? That's at my neighbor's house, and they're gonna come over and grab it. So yeah, that was stupid. Anyways, thanks DoorDash for being stupid and understanding what an address is. And getting mine, and for no reason. Anyways, anyways. I have no peace. I swear to God, I sit down to live stream and like everything happens. Like, I have a whole week's worth of nothing happening, and then the second I start live streaming, everything happens. I'm like, dude, can I please get a break? Thank you. Oh my God. Anyways. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about speech. We're gonna go into the little speech one. It's a little obvious. Like, sometimes you can hear it. Like, I still have a little bit of a lisp. When I'm like live streaming, when I'm talking, I really do have to think pretty hard about pronouncing things correctly. I spend a great deal of time when I'm being more in a presentation setting, making sure that my speech is a little bit more comprehensible. Because my S's are the things that are mostly incorrect. My CH, my C's, my S's, all that stuff, I don't really do it right. Like, I say it and it sounds mostly correct, but the way that I physically speak isn't correct. And you can still tell. To this day. Like, my S's, I use my tongue in between my teeth to do S's. Like, I don't know how I'd even do it. It's just like S. It's like in the middle of my teeth. But I know most people like S. Like, they close their teeth and then they put their tongue against the back of their teeth, like S. I go like S. Like, S, S. Like, you can hear the difference. S, S. So it's close enough that you probably won't ever catch me, like, sounding much different, but, like, when I actually point it out, it's like, oh, there's a pretty big difference. And, like, I do a TH for my CH. It's, like, the same TH, CH. TH, CH. Like, literally, like, it's, like, the T and the Ch are, like, the same. I do the same exact motion for them. And so it's, like, yeah. I don't know. The speech impediment is a little bit there, and, like, I don't really care that much. Like, it's not noticeable, but I say that, like, I still have remnants of it. It's still, like, a thing. Just a bit. I do have to, you know, really focus on it sometimes when I'm recording, specifically, so that way people don't get confused about what I'm saying. When I start talking more unmasked a lot faster, you can tell sometimes things get a little messed up, but this whole episode is about my speech impediment and what I went through as a kid to essentially kind of correct that. I went to speech classes, most of my childhood I went to speech classes, and yes, everybody who loves this, lovely teacher design, she's so cute. My speech teacher was Muslim, and she wore a hijab, and she always had the most gorgeous, most beautiful hijabs, and I wanted to draw her, like, accurately, and I was like, you know what would be so cute? I would love to have her be a ladybug, because she was such a friendly, happy person, and she was the sweetest. Like, I loved her so much. She was, like, one of the best freaking coaches for my voice and my speech ever, and I loved her so much. Great teacher, wonderful person. So I wanted to make sure I made her design, like, really cool. This is like a little sad little thing of Wild Child reading out loud and then everybody pointing at her and she gets embarrassed and blushes and hides in the books. Like, I did that a lot. Like, anytime I got picked on to read out loud, it was always me struggling to read. And everybody, like, giggling or getting mad. More so people would get mad at me. And they'd be like, oh my god, I could read it faster than you. Oh my god, I could do it so much better than you. Like, oh, this is so irritating and difficult. And, like, I don't want to, like, just hurry up. Like, I'd get a lot of, like, the feeling that I'm falling behind. More so. So, yeah. Had to include the lovely shame aspect of it all. Not to mention the fact that my birther very much so was not happy with the idea that I needed more help. In her eyes, it was, I'm failing to mask my autism. In her eyes, it was, hey, they know that you're not normal. You're a failure. But you had one job. We told you not to act autistic, or act like you needed help in school, or act like something's wrong with you, quote unquote. So, yeah. Womp womp. Womp womp for her, but, because, like, that was very stupid of her to ask of a literal 5-year-old. Some of y'all noticed that Wild Child is, in fact, drawing some really cute little hot air balloons, including her favorite one. She drew herself in the sky with them, which I thought was kind of funny, actually. But I love this part because it's just me being like, no, I love your speech impediment. I love that, like, Wild Child used to, like, specifically influence adults by acting like she had more of an uwu voice than she actually did. Like, I remember, like, there's a specific memory where, like, it was like I was older, and me and... Oh my god, Jules, you just reminded me that you actually met that person. That's crazy. Anyways, me and my brother and, like, my cousin were all and it was like a Thanksgiving event at, like, my grandparents' house, and we were all in, like, the bedroom giggling, and we were like, okay, if we all act really baby, and we put on our baby voices, and we pretend to be really cute, maybe the adults will give us, the pumpkin pie early, maybe we'll get dessert early, if we act really cute, and, like, basically manipulate them by being cute? And I remember as Wild Child going up to them and being like, Daddy, can I please have some of the pumpkin pie, pretty please? Pretty please? And, like, we all were like, can we please have some early? Like, we were, like, being all cute or whatever, like, literally manipulating the adults to our favor. Weaponizing our little speech impediments. I was dying. That is such a funny thing to do as kids. Oh, it's just so funny. So that's why I had to, like, point it out that Wild Child, like, she's so aware. She knows what she's doing. She's about this life. She's like, I'm gonna get what I want. I'm like, get it, girl. Get it, girl. Love that for you. It's so good. Makes me very happy. She's so freaking funny for that. And then, of course, when I tell her that I love her for that, she gets very happy because she just wants to be loved, man. She just really wants to be loved. Bottom line. Oh boy. Saving the best couple of episodes for last here. We have the freaking Halloween episode! I was so proud of myself. I worked very hard to make sure this episode could come out on actual Halloween. I was like, we're doing this, Wild Child! We're doing this! I was like animating like through the night. I was like, we got this! We're gonna do it! It's gonna be awesome! Oh, yes. God. But yeah, so this episode was fun because new outfits again. This whole year was like the year of outfits. I animated so many fun different outfits for everybody. I don't know why. It's just fun. Kind of broke the norm a little bit. Okay, now the music is like too chill. Can I have like something that's like in the middle? Like we can have some upbeatness, but like there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that meme is like becoming like a that Gravity Falls clip is becoming like a vocal stim of mine. The dippers looking at each other going, yeah! Yeah! I keep doing it and I can't help myself. It's really funny. Anyways. They are, we're celebrating Halloween because it is our favorite holiday forever, always. Like, this is something me and my inner child are freaking locked in. Like, we are Halloween fanatics forever, always. This is our favorite holiday. It'll never change. You guys seem to really enjoy my off-brand books, so I really want to show you them up close. We have Not in the Hat. We have Not in the Hat. We have Not in the Hat. Also, I just... Update on the DoorDash. Apparently it's my roommates, and they sent it to the wrong address. So, yeah. Thanks, universe. Oh, that's actually really funny. Well, at least that mystery's solved. Anyways, we have Bad Cat, which is based off of the Bad Kitty books, which are my brother's favorite books. And then we have, If You Give a Rat a Treat. You know, everybody loves that one. The If You Give a Rat a Treat book. Copyright Small Mouse. You know. That one. That one that you know. And this one was, I was gonna change this one, but I ended up, like, just being like, nah, that one can look normal. The Hungry Little Caterpillar could be normal. So... Wait, can I eat it then? I don't know. Hold on, let me read the whole text. Oh, they're gonna eat it when they get home. All right, sorry, Jules. It's really funny. But yeah, this is like the little thing. I also had the mystery blues, which you guys thought was funny. It should be pretty obvious what that's supposed to be, but this was Wild Child's favorite Halloween costume. Was being blue from Blue's Clues. Or, Mystery Blues. But Wild Child was determined to win this prize, and, like, this is, like, one of my most proud moments from my childhood, was that we were, like, poor as hell, and, like, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna make my own book, because I had this, like, old, like, most horribly textured ladybug costume ever. It was like the same texture of those like you know those like fair toys that you get, like those plushies from the fair that are like not velvet but not good. They're like shiny-ish. Oh, fucking awful texture. I had that texture ladybug outfit. And I was like, you know what'd be awesome? If I drew my own book. So I drew this ladybug book to go with my outfit, and all the adults were so impressed. They were like, oh, nobody's ever thought of that before! Oh my gosh, that's such a creative way to, like, incorporate your costume, is to just make your own book! And, like, they were so pleased with it that I actually did get a prize, and I got one of the first place prizes. And I was so happy, because that means I got a cupcake from the special cupcake table. And yeah, I did ruin it right away. That's just kind of the nature of Wild Child. Wild Child's so living in the moment, and is very much ungraceful and not very careful. Like, you'll notice that me as a person, I become a very overly cautious, careful, caring person. And right now is kind of the only time where, like, she messes stuff up and she gets messy and she doesn't really apologize. Like, she just lives in the moment, and I'm pretty much spending my entire life trying to get back to this state, because I'm very OCD now. And it makes me very sad, and I really want to be this way again. So, she's just so unapologetically herself, and I love that for her. Alright, and the last episode of the day that we're gonna talk about is gonna be the Runaway Gingerbread Man. This was a really fun one. I ended up animating this entire thing on a Discord stage in my PetPyves Premium chat. Because every now and then I like to hop in there and chat with my peeplets and hang out, and we were working on this episode together, and it was really fun. So I have like a pretty awesome, fun memory of working on this episode. And also Christmas is right around the corner, so it was nice to feel like I was getting a little bit in spirit here. And Wild Child's cute little Christmas outfits! I love Wild Child's little outfits, dude. I just can't help myself. This whole thing is just so... so many outfits. I can't help it. It's so fun. But this is the story about a runaway gingerbread man, which is a tradition that we had at my kindergarten at my school. And it was like, the story was, there was a giant gingerbread man that the teachers baked. And we all were like gonna eat it. But then, when we went to go and see it, it disappeared! That is such a cute sticker! Oh my god, Rockberry Becky, that's such a cute sticker with the hippos! It reminds me of Hungry Hungry Hippos. I love that so much, oh my gosh. That is so cool. I don't know if it's gonna pop up on stream, that's kind of... maybe there's like a lag going on. But that's so cute! Oh my goodness. I love the hippos. Thank you, that's so sweet, oh my god. Rockberry also sounds like a really fun, like mystical, like, fantasy world berry that you would find, where it's like, either as hard as a rock on the outside, kind of like a coconut, or it's like berries that grow, like, in like these specific, like, rocky areas or something. But yeah, this episode was basically about the runaway gingerbread man, and when we went to go and eat him, he had vanished, and we had to basically follow these notes and footprints around the whole school, and it was just such a sweet little adventure to get us all out of the classroom. Here's a cameo, you'll see, like, Peeves is written right here at the top row of the crossword, and you get Wild Child kind of, like, dancing around. And the little gingerbread man was just, at the end of the day, sleeping in the classroom, and was just so soundly having a lovely, lovely time enjoying his life before the actual massacre occurs, which is basically just all of the kids being like, we're going to eat him alive, to which they did. And yeah, that's fine, you know? He's fine. The kids had a great time. I love the animation of all the munchin'. It reminds me of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, when they're all like eating at the table and it's like like they're like eating all the stuff. The teacher is mortified. I'm having a goblin time because this is the ultimate form of joy for me, is seeing my inner child be chaotic. And she's like, I hit his arm off! And it's like, his little ghost trickles away. And like, I thought that was just like, so much fun to animate, of just like, her like, evilly just gnawing the arm off of this gingerbread man. God. But it was just so cute and fun. I just thought this whole, like, despite a lot of the, like, goodness, I am so yawny. The sun is finally coming out. Oh, thank God. I will stop yawning. But, I don't know, something about year 5 is just, I really enjoy the aspect that, yes, there's some bad times that happen in year 5, but there's also so much good. We can't forget all the good that happened. Aww, yo!
Stay hydrated, Plaza.
Okay, Toad, I will stay hydrated just for you. Oh, thank you. I actually really needed that. God damn. Ah, thank you. That was wonderful. It's time to take a dink bake. Which brings me to the very last little thing we're gonna talk about on stream very briefly. I want to talk about some of the bloopers because they were really freaking funny and like I'm hilarious and I don't know what happens to me when I go and to the basement to record, but like this alter ego comes out and I don't know, it's just like this really funny like person appears. I loved animating myself disintegrating into dust like SpongeBob. I'm so glad somebody caught on to the fact that it was a SpongeBob reference and I was like, thank you! Thank you! My entire life is a SpongeBob reference! That's so freaking cool, Toad. Oh my god. I command thee! Aw. That's so sweet. Thank you. Oh my god. That's so rad. It's a community dink break, everyone. But yeah, I loved all of these bloopers so much because like you can hear this one is the one like where my voice transitions from Wild Child into my voice. I make a Sims reference. I'm like so Sims obsessed. Like I love Sims. That's like a known fact about me, hopefully, but this is the part where I'm like, Wild Child, please beef in dink order. Petition for this to be like, just like a meme format. Like, take a dink bake, here you go. Take a dink break, here you go. And also this frame too. Can we make these two into like PetPyves memes, please? I'm not animating that. Oh my god, thank you again, Toad. Let's go.
I hope that this stream is going well.
It is going well! Oh my god, strawberries! Let's go! I love strawberries. Yay! Peeves! Peeves is such a goblin. Peeves gets so much of that fruit. Thank you so much, Toad. You're so sweet. Oh my god. Yeah, the stream's going pretty good. We got to talk about some of the good and the bad and all the mix of things. That's just kind of how life is. But yeah, I love that little shot of me giving my child a little water bottle. It's even funnier that we're in our Halloween costumes too. It's just like so random out of context. This was super funny too because the spider did like, I'm not like scared of spiders, but the spider that crawled across my microphone was like a wolf spider. And so I was like, oh, that's actually a scary spider. That's not good. And I was like, oh god. So I went running away. Oh, thank you, Toad. Oh my god. Let's go. More peevlets for the squad. Oh gosh. But yeah, like, so like this freaking spider crawled across my thing. I genuinely like had to run away. The reason why I ran away, honestly, was to find something that I could scoop him into so I could bring him back outside. So that's why you could literally hear me get away, like, away from the microphone. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get the river! And I'm like, there's this whole section of the recording where I'm, like, trying to scoop him up. And, like, get him outside. And, like, I take him outside, and then I come back downstairs, and I'm like, anyways, back to recording. And then I was like, as soon as I sat down as Wild Child, I was like, I hate recording in the basement, this is poopy! And it was funny. And then the next one's Wild Child's like, he's farting everywhere, and I'm like, why? Why do you say things like this, Wild Child? Why do you say things like this? I'm not animating that. It's just really funny, because once I'm doing the Wild Child voice, I'll like stay in the voice for a little bit afterwards. So people are always wondering like, why do you talk to yourself as like your different characters? I'm like, because I'm in character. I'm in character and I'm doing the voice and like, I can't break it right away. So it's like, it'll linger. So it's like really funny. I don't know, man. But yeah, this is been my little TED talk about Year 5 of Persona Project. That's like everything I wanted to go over. So for the last portion of this stream for a couple minutes here, let's talk about any questions that you guys have, appropriate questions, mind you. I won't be talking about the final episode, for the safety of everybody. I don't want to talk about it, so please respect that, and you're welcome to ask questions about basically anything else, if you have anything that is, you know, scratching your brain and you need to know right away. Yeah, that's kind of creepy, Toad, that happened. Coincidences like that are so weird. And the way I said watch out in that short, too, was, like, so calm, so that's, like, kind of interesting. Starguard goes, meow! I'm like, do you have a question? And that person goes, meow! Meow! Same. Mood. Do you play Hat in Time? No, I have not played that game. I've heard it's really good, though. I'm a little intimidated because the internet has such a positive review of it that I get nervous about things that are popular. So, yeah. Favorite NPC character right now? I'm gonna assume you're talking about Persona, and my favorite one in year 6 that I'm animating right now is honestly Snaily. She's the bully, but like, god, she's so fun to animate. She has like the sassiest little expressions. It's wonderful. I don't know, I think it's fun. I think it's fun drawing the Dollar Store Lobelio ripoff. WC's favorite 12 vessel. Ooh. Oh, she probably would love Willow. She probably would love Willow so much. And honestly, probably Poppy. I feel like they would get along really well. Will the creature in Caboose be featured ever again? Oh yeah, no, they are main characters. They will be coming all over the place, all over this channel, don't worry. They will be all over the place. But yeah, they're reoccurring characters. You'll see a lot of them in the future, especially the near future. They're gonna be kind of popping up here and there as Wild Child grows up a little bit more. How to make my PNG tuber change expressions? PNG tubers have this little thing called like outfits, and there's like little numbers in the far left corner, and there's like numbers 1 through 9, and you can set different numbers to be different like outfits, quote unquote, but I just changed the faces. I actually have one that has nothing, so you can see this absolutely horrifying version of having no face. So yeah, you can like change the faces by changing the outfits in PNG Tuber. And I really like that because it's fun. And you have to do it manually, like I have hotkeys. But it's not too difficult. You just gotta, it's a little tedious, you gotta make sure you got everything lined up and that things are only appearing on certain outfits. Is that Splatoon music? Probably! I have a lot of Nintendo music. I basically solely listen to Nintendo video game music. As you can see from my shorts, that's like all that's in the background. Why'd you choose WC to be a frog? Well, tadpoles are, you know, like, they're very obviously, like, in design, they look like, you can tell that they're a child, like, there's a difference between an adult frog and a baby frog, and so I really wanted there to be, like, a clear, like, this is a child character, but also she's very froggy, she's bouncy, she loves swimming, she's very much so like a frog, so that's just the first thing that came to my mind, honestly. And my favorite place in the world was a pond, so I was like, what if she was a pond frog? How much do the different characters differ in interests? Team Half-Blood, I'm really sure that the reason why most people believe that I have DID is because of how different my eras are. And I can confirm I don't have DID, I don't have personality disorder of that stature. I have avoidant personality disorder, I have a different personality disorder. But, as far as like the different interest things go, I have very wildly different interests in every era. Every era is like almost their own person, except the thing that clocks me for not being DID is the fact that they all have shared memories. So it's like my interests vary so drastically. Like, Parker and Hawley are a little bit similar, like they both love telling stories, but they like doing it in completely different ways. And it's like, look at myself now, like, versus Wild Child, I'm like, wow, a lot of our stuff overlaps, but like, there are a lot of things that Wild Child could withstand that I can't. Like, physical icks that, like, in sensory things that I cannot stand. That kid would run everywhere barefoot. Like, everywhere barefoot. And I cannot walk anywhere barefoot right now. I have to wear socks or shoes at all times. It's like so interesting how much I change over the years. Sad Mario waiting for the bus! Let's go! Welcome, dude! And thank you, Meep. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. We have so much more on the way, good lord. Oh, goodness. What is my favorite Pokemon? Oh god. I have a whole list of favorite Pokemon. And Wild Child's favorite Pokemon is like Pikachu, Mew, Piplup, like Zubat, very basic Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon nowadays, I'm like a huge ghost type fan. So I like lots of ghost types. I love Honedge. Shelter is my #1 favorite Pokemon. My favorite starter is Cyndaquil. My favorite generation is Sinnoh. I love Sinnoh's generation. Like, the entirety of it is freaking amazing. Black and White generation's also freaking good. Gen 4 and 5 are just, oh, so good. But I have a lot of, like, ghost type favorite Pokemon right now. They are so wonderful. Can you talk about the other mental illnesses? I'll talk about them later, Asmer, if that's alright. I'm gonna focus on them a little bit at a time. And we're gonna do it that way. Because, I don't know, I kind of like having a little bit of mystery to the series. What's my PNG tuber made on? PNG Tuber Plus is the program that runs it, and then I drew everything in Clip Studio. You just gotta draw stuff on different layers. Will Blackbird ever interact with Wild Child? Mari, yes. Yes, they will. They don't get along, but they will. They will. Absolutely. How would WC feel about Roblox? I feel like WC would freaking love Roblox. I was just never in the realm of having access to it, but I feel like if she had it, oh my god, she would be obsessed. She'd be at the arcades on there, like, playing the little claw machines, like, all day long. It's crazy. Thoughts on Legends Arceus? That game's freaking awesome, Jennifer. Oh my god, that game does not get enough credit. I love that game. The soundtrack is beautiful. The atmosphere and the game itself is actually gorgeous. And, like, the gameplay is so unique and fun. I love that game to bits. I'm actually replaying it right now for, like, the 3rd time. Love that game. Oh, god. When do we get to see a picture of your Elmo plush? I actually don't have him right now. My brother actually has him. He's holding on to my Elmo plush for me. He has a lot of our very important stuffed animals and stuff, because when I moved up to Wisconsin from Florida, it was very much like I was fleeing a very, very bad, serious situation, so I didn't have time to, like, get all the important things in order. Like, I don't have, like, any of my family photos. I don't have, like, any of my important documents. I'm lucky I got my birth certificate. Genuinely. So my brother has most of that stuff because he has a little bit more contact with the family, so he got a lot of our stuff back. But yeah, I'm hoping to get my Elmo and a couple of my other stuffed animals back very soon. I'm gonna go up for my birthday in March. I'm gonna go back to Florida and do a lot of soul searching stuff and go to old places I used to like, and it'll be a very healing thing. I'm gonna vlog it for you guys. And I'm gonna get my Elmo back, and I'm gonna be so happy. And you guys are gonna have to see how horrifyingly ugly that poor thing is. He's so ugly. I love him. He's so ugly. He has no eyeballs, and he has no nose. He's so horrifying, but I love him. What's the transition from one era to the next gonna be like? It's gonna be simple. It's not gonna be some giant explosion. It's gonna be like, I already wrote it out. It's like a thing of Wild Child coming to me and saying, oh no, I want to keep talking, no, I don't want it, and I'll be like, oh, but it's Blackbird's turn, we gotta take turns, and then Blackbird goes, yeah, it's my turn, And Wild Child goes, fine, and then it's just like that. That's it, it's simple. And then we start with Blackbird, and then Blackbird's first episode is like, hi, my name is Blackbird, and I'm like this, and you better get used to it. And it's gonna be very much like, yeah, like, I don't know, it's, to me, I don't want to overdo it. It's very simple, because it's not like a drastic change. It's something that happens so gradually that, like, you'll notice that Blackbird in the beginning very much acts like Wild Child, and then is progressively gonna become her own person. Not like in a physical character, like changing clothes and appearance sense, but like a emotional, inner self sense, if that makes sense. Do you like WC or Blackbird more? Wow, that's kind of like favoritism amongst like my children, it feels like. No, I love them both, and I have quarrels with both for different reasons too. Like, they all have flaws, but they all have good traits too, and I love them both. I love myself equally. Okay. How did I choose to separate the eras? Cat Nugget, nobody has asked that one. You're good. So, how I chose to separate them is, like, oh gosh, how do I even explain this? How do I explain how I separated the eras? I did major life events, right? So like for Wild Child, I took a lot of classes. Oh, there's a donation. Thank you so much. Oh my god. There's a couple. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I'm like missing them. They're like popping up, but I have a screen up where you can't see them right now. But I saw Fizzy Dizzy super chatted. Thank you so much for the boombox. That's slay. And then Chizu? I'm guessing your XX is like part of your username. So Chizu, I'm sorry if I'm horribly pronouncing this. I'm really bad at pronouncing usernames. But thank you! Oh my god, from South America? Thank you! That's so cool! That is so awesome! That like, we get to like hang out and like share aspects of our lives together and like bond over silly little Wild Child all the way from there. That's awesome! Holy crap! The world is so cool, and it's so much smaller than people give it credit for. Like, I'm so happy you're here. Oh my god. That's so cool. That's so awesome. But yes, back to the question I was answering. I'm sorry. But man, how I separated them was like, I took a lot of psychology courses, and when you're developing as a child, your identity begins to develop around 8 years old. At 8 years old, you become, like, I guess sentient. So I was like, okay, when 8-year-old hits, that's when my preteen stage is gonna start. So then we go from, 9 years old all the way until like 13. And then 14 is when I think that's when I start high school. I don't know, 14 or 15 I start high school. And it's like, so my whole middle school is Blackbird, my whole high school is Parker, my whole college is Hawley, and then my, I guess, quote-unquote, adult life is Haley. But what signified a change between Haley and Robin was that I moved across the country and I left the abuse behind. And I got myself out of that situation. At long last. And that was the big step of like, all the eras fought so hard to get here, and so Robin could be here. And so that's how I kind of separated them, was just major life events and or just like school or like things that can help break up blocks of my years into more cohesive characters. Love from Germany! How cool! How cool, you guys! From London! How awesome! This is so rad. It's so good. So many cool people from all across the world, and we all get to celebrate, like, healing together. This is so wholesome. Oh, this is so wholesome and fun. Oh, this is so wholesome and fun. How lovely. Australia too. Wow, how awesome. Thank you guys for the support from all around. That is so cool, man. Super cool. Oh, man. Love from Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. Yay! What is Robin's era supposed to be? Robin's era is the current era, so I'm gonna cover like things that have already happened in this era, which are like, I went freaking blind. I started to go freaking blind and had to get eye surgery. That happened in Robin's era. I started... Yeah, that was fun. I also started this series, and I started to heal. And I think it's gonna be a whole lot of, like, I quit my day job, and I became a YouTuber, and I'm, like, living my dreams. So, like, Robin's era is, like, a lot of, like, the happily ever after, I feel. So, I can't wait to get to that point. It'll be very cool. Greetings from Germany and no more mob spire. Rockberry Becky. Oh, you're from Germany! Oh, that's so cool! Yes, you guys can say, like, a general state or area, like country you're from, but, like, no more than that. No doxing beyond that, please. Oh, God. That is so cool. There's so many cool people. Wow. How awesome. How cool. Alright, gamers. So, my voice is very strained. I'm gonna give it a rest here. So that way I can get back to making, videos. I've got more Animal Crossing videos lined up for you, since you guys seem to really like them, and I'm very happy about that, because I love them too, so I'm happy. You'll get more of those. And I'm also starting year 6. Year 6 is already in the works. I'm gonna try and get it done and out there, and it's gonna be a longer year, so I hope you guys are ready. The years are about to get a little bit longer from this point on, because we're about to get into some big events. Good and bad. All of it, because that's what Persona's about. It's about every part of life. The good, the bad, the ugly. And the silly. Mostly the silly. Because Wild Child's goofy, so. Thank you guys so much for the support. I know that this past episode of Persona was quite distressing, and I'm just so happy to be in a space where I can talk about it openly and just put it out there that, like, I have survived and that I'm okay now. I am okay now. And it's very comforting for my inner child and I to sit here and know that we are seen and we are heard when we spend our whole lives not being that. So I really appreciate that so very much. And I hope that the rest of Persona Project you guys can find some solace in and see yourselves into and enjoy the good and the bad with me. And I hope that... I just hope you guys are well. Thank you guys again and again and again for allowing Robin to live this awesome dream and me to share Wild Child with the world and share all the rest of the eras that are soon to come with the world. It's so cool. This is very cool. Very fun time. Very cool time to be a part of PetPyves community, 100%. So, that is all for today's stream. Thank you guys again for attending and being so engaging, and... Oh man, let's all take a rest. It's Sunday. It's the day of rest, isn't it? Yeah, we should rest. Oh, the sun just magically came out as I said that. Wow. Let's go drink some water, bask in the sun if it's out. Let's go relax for the rest of the day. We've been through a lot, right? Yeah. Alright. Much love. See you all next time. See you on Sunday, same time. Next week we'll do something else. I'll have you guys vote for it. How about that? Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.